Chat, want to come on here in person and say, fuck this website building. Fuck this website building. Burnt out, took a nap, woke up, tried again. Fuck this, bro. Quick fucking look. Why is this page still the same? I don't know. But then when you fucking do this, go slash home. Oh, okay, still doesn't work. Like, very confusing here. Not sure what the fuck I did wrong. I followed the template, the tutorial, and it's just retarded. Think I'm gonna just scrap this bad boy, which is kind of ass. I don't know. I need someone to fucking come, like, actually put their hands on this. Like, you know what I mean? Put their hands on this thing. Get their fucking grubby fingers on this. I need to hit up a Jew or something like that. But yeah, fuck, like, how they do me wrong with these African niggas, bro? Who the fuck are these people, bro? Everybody said, use AI. I'm like, alright, I'm gonna try AI. AI locked me the fuck in on this bitch ass, this bitch ass homepage, bro. What the fuck? You click join us, it don't join you fucking nowhere. And it goes to the new fucking theme I got, the Solus theme. Like, I'm so confused with this shit, bro. Not even confused, pissed off. Pissed off. Pissed off. And I have no clue, like, I've tried everything, I think, bro. Fucking everything, bro. I don't know what the fuck to do. Like, it makes zero sense to me. I go to fucking pages, all pages. Everything's able to get edited with Elementor except for the blog. I click home, right? View, fucking ghetto. But then you go edit with Elementor, and it's a completely different fucking page. Somebody fucking explain this. How is that possible? How is this possible? Somebody explain this. This says home. This says Solus. I went back and changed it, bro. This is fucking bullshit, dog. Straight bullshit. This is a fucking scam ass Jewy site, bro. Don't use it. Fucking scam Jews, bro. Crazy. Like, where the fuck did this come from? I didn't make any of these posts. Check my plugins. It all makes sense. Check my pages. I mean, from the looks of it, it's like, oh, word. Just click the website. What is this? Like, what the fuck, bro? I'll tell you this much. This has me pissed off. Everybody's like, oh, it's easy to create a fucking website. I might just make a shop. Fuck a site. Fuck a site. Now I see why niggas don't do this. This shit is out fucking dated. This is pissing me off. Like, I'm about to punch my screen. This is crazy. This is crazy, bro. I need somebody that, like, literally knows what's going on. I need somebody that knows what's going on, but for now, I'm actually just gonna scrap even working on this thing, bro. For right now. Fucking fried me, dude. This nigga's still live, bro?
Thank you for the
What?
big super chat. It's called Welcome Back. Hey, I appreciate it.
Jesus Christ.
Where we're going back. Have a great show for you tonight. Very excited.
Alright, chat. I mean, I guess open up chest. I guess smoking L. Dude, I bought food for somebody. Had 2 boxes. I'm pretty sure I gave them the wrong fucking box. They're like pissed. They were like, you gave me your leftovers? I was like, no. Now look in the box that I'm supposed to give them. I'm like, bro. I feel bad as shit, bro. I would fucking drink, but I literally gotta fucking do shit in like a few hours. Oh, got me pissed the fuck off, man. Pissed off, chat. What's up with y'all, man? Everybody said it, man. Oh, this shit'll be easy. It's just to download the fucking Just fucking download this. Just fucking download that. Just fucking use this. Pay for that. It's fucking easy. Fucking got me about to black out on somebody's fucking grandma. Seriously. I really just don't understand how this WordPress shit works, bro. I mean, it's funny because it brings me back to a time when I was a kid and I wanted to create a website. Like, I was literally like maybe 8. I was like 8, I remember, and like I wanted to create a website. And I remember I just wanted like Pac-Man on it. Like I wanted to create like I remember thinking like, dude, like going on like the websites like Ancon and like shit like that back in the day, being like, dude, I could just put my favorite games on here. Fucking Pac-Man, fucking Snake, fucking car games. And I remember trying to make a website back then, dude. That was like actually kind of funny. Like I wonder if there's no way in the hell I would remember the name. I made that shit though. That was back when it was like free. Like literally free. I don't remember what the name was called even remotely, just cause like I wouldn't even be able to remember that kind of shit. But yeah, man. Fucking got cucked this one, it feels like. Got cucked. Feels like your boy got cucked. I'm not necessarily sure. I don't know. You know, it's crazy because I was about to it's crazy because I was about to get on stream earlier, but I was like, you know what? Let me put a few more hours in this. Try to figure out what's up. And bro, they literally like just cucked me, bro. Like I don't really know what to say. I don't know what to do. If anyone knows anything about WordPress, holy shit, let me know. I feel like starting this earlier means I just would have given up earlier. Oh my god, and I don't have much weed left, bro? Come on. Come on, dude. I barely smoked any of this shit. Let me see. I know I got some in my grinder. I knew I had some up in there. Oh, why'd they cuck me so hard, chat? God damn, dude. Fuck this goddamn app WordPress, man. Alright, let's listen to what the fuck our boy has to say here.
To be back here with you tonight on Thursday, we have a lot to talk about tonight, lots to get into. Big show. It's good to be back in the studio. I was away for the past few days. Missed half the week, but I did some shows on the road, which was kind of fun. It's been years since I did a show on the road like that, I think. And I can't talk too much about where I was and what I was working on. It's another collaboration, but you're not going to see it for a little while. You're not going to see it until next year.
It's got to be Tucker.
Actually. But it's good. And it was a lot of work. So I don't know if I'm sick or if my voice is just dead from talking so much, but I'm not feeling 100%. That's why I'm a little later. I literally just got home. In the morning, I was on Alex Jones today on InfoWars in studio.
Yo, honestly, bro, I fucking hate InfoWars. Like, Alex Jones, bro, his voice just be drawling on my ears, bro. I hate InfoWars. I've tried to watch it. I tried to watch it with Nick on, bro. I just can't get down, bro. I don't know if y'all fuck with that, but I think InfoWars is fucking trash.
And we did an hour, and it was phenomenal. I thought really good chemistry. My friendship with Alex Jones just keeps getting better and better. I mean, I consider him a good friend. So we had a lot of fun on the show this morning. And then I raced over to the airport, and I found out my flight was like a half hour earlier than I thought it was. I was totally late. I thought it was at 1:15. It was at like 12:30. So I was screwed. So I was at the airport all day like an idiot, and that's not his fault. That's my fault. I didn't know what time my flight was, and so I just got back, and now I'm doing another show. So the grind never stops. Generational run never stops. It keeps going. But our featured story tonight, we're going to be talking all about John Bolton, who has just been indicted in a classified documents case. Little taste of their own medicine. And let's be honest, this is just straight up revenge. Trump is delivering on revenge. They charged him with classified documents. Now he's doing the same thing to them.
That nigga's 76.
And so they hit James Comey. That was a few weeks ago. Now
Jesus
John Bolton
Christ.
has been charged. And these are two guys that wrote their tell-all books, and they created all kinds of problems for Trump, and they supported the many indictments against Trump and his impeachment and the rest of it. And true to his word, Trump is delivering. It seems like the DOJ is doing his bidding. They dropped this huge classified documents case on John Bolton. They went into his house, just like they did to Trump at Mar-a-Lago. They rifled through his stuff, took his papers.
Damn.
And they hit him with a number of these charges, which could put him in jail for the rest of his life if he's convicted. It's pretty serious. And I like to see it. Don't get me wrong. I like it. It's good because John Bolton is objectively a terrible person. He's a neocon. He's a warmonger. He's like the definition of the enemy of America first.
Nigga, so is Trump. He just the
certainly
president.
He represents a faction of the enemies of America first.
Nigga said
And
Netanyahu
so
should
I
get a
like to
Nobel
see that he's
Peace
going to
Prize.
jail,
Like, what?
or at the minimum that he's being put through this process. And it's fair. This is what the Democrats and many of the Republicans did to Trump. It was a political attack. This is the game they wanted to play. Well, now they're getting a little taste of that themselves. So I like to see it for obvious reasons. He's not a good guy. It's satisfying because it's fair. But I have to say that I don't like where the country is headed. This is not good. I think anyone recognizes this is not. Maybe we should avoid using words like good and bad. This is destabilizing. This is escalatory. This is
nigga just made this
destabilizing.
shit turn real.
All that we're seeing with everything, whether it's the ICE detention centers, the Supreme Court case on the Voting Rights Act, and the apportionment of, or I should say, the drawing of the map of the districts, the case in Texas and California having to do with gerrymandering, all this stuff, these indictments, Jimmy Kimmel, we're just moving full speed ahead towards like a civil war. And I never was that guy. I said that on Alex Jones this morning, and I think you know, if you watch my show, that's true. I'm not the Civil War guy. I'm not a prepper or anything like that. But lately, I have been sounding the alarm. It's getting dangerously close to that, because everything that you would see that would precipitate that, all the pieces are coming into place. There's constitutional questions about authority. People are contesting the
Nigga, that's your boy, Pat. Whoa, bro. That's your boy. That is your boy talking about that stuff. That's your guy. Patrick Bet-David. That's him talking about constitutional leaks, inciting violence against Muslims. Don't you start that shit. That's your boy. You went on his fucking podcast. And maybe you don't want to bring any attention to it, but you haven't said a fucking word about how fucking vulgar and awful what he just said was. He said fucking, yeah, bring 1,000 Christians to fucking Yemen, Jordan, or Iran. The way there's 1,000 fucking Muslims praying in New York, and see what happens. Nigga, fuck you, Patrick. Fuck you. We're not idiots, and we have ChatGPT now. Fuck you. We know what you're inciting, you bitch. Fuck you. Fuck you. Like, actually, seriously. The fuck? Let's see you do this in Jordan, in Iran. This motherfucker got this bitch-ass accent. He has the nerve to fucking say anything. about the Constitution, nigga. I should be at your facility, nigga. I'm not even fucking fully convinced that you're a motherfucking American, bitch. Fucking bitch.
Part that we have a leak in the Constitution that if this is the one part that we have a leak in the Constitution that if there's going to be anything that takes this great country down, it'll be this. Play this clip, Rob. This is New York City, by the way. Go ahead.
And I don't even think this is a
New
full
York
clip.
City. Okay. All right. So you can pause it right there.
Ass.
Now go do this in Yemen. Go do this in Jordan. Go do this in Iran. Bring thousands of Christians outside and pray and see what happens. Go ahead and do that. See what takes place there.
Like, what are you talking about? You fucking, what are you talking about? You fucking accent, fucking having leak in the Constitution, bro. Do I have to fucking chat GPT some fucking sensible knowledge to your bitch ass? Hold on a second, dude. I'm sorry. We gotta go elementary with this pussy Patrick Bet David, bro. Elementary. What American amendment in the Constitution protects freedom of press and religion? Let's ask ChatGPT. Because maybe I'm tripping, right? The very first, motherfucker! The very first. So you are out here telling me that the leak in the Constitution comes from the very first amendment? I'm sorry, are we clear? Are we clear? Do I have to replay the clip? Chat, replay the clip, bro. Replay the fucking clip. Patrick Bet Pussy.
This is the one part that we have a leak in the Constitution.
And like, how did no one else peep what he was trying to say right there? How did no one else sit there and say, yeah, Patrick, but I don't know if we should, I'm not sure if we should, if we should condone those kind of ideals on a secular government. Those are Islamic territories. In their constitution, it literally clearly states the laws are based on Islamic prophecy. That is not what we are doing. That's not here. We're not. I hate how Nick Fuentes and Patrick Bet David try to sit here and fucking create this fucking. They try to manifest this being a fucking Christian country. It is not. And in the word American, in the term American, if you are American, Christian is not in that fucking, in that demographic. It's where the fuck you're born and you're loyal to. What the fuck?
That if there's going to be anything that takes this great country down,
a leak in the Constitution.
This is New York City, by the way.
A leak in the Constitution. Okay, dude, just hop, skip, and fucking make a new Constitution. Fucking, however many years later. The fuck?
This is New York City. Okay. All right, so you can pause it right there. Now go do this in Yemen. Go do this in Jordan. Go do this in Iran. Bring thousands of Christians outside and pray and see what happens. Go ahead and do that. See what takes place there. Good luck. This is the one part that we have a leak in the Constitution.
1787. So you're telling me this shit has been a thing since 1787, and you dare tell me there's a leak with the First Amendment? You better get your bitch ass on, dude. Get your bitch ass on, like, quite seriously. The fuck?
Results of the election. You have different jurisdiction and their law enforcement competing with each other. Federal troops, National Guard, ICE versus the local police versus the power reserved for the states to mobilize a National Guard. You've got political leadership on both sides agitating. You've got kind of in the private sector, people are going there.
And he gonna mention Josh Shapiro house getting burnt down? Like, is that something that happens often to, like, other governors or something? Because, like, I'm perplexed at, like, the lack of coverage. It's almost like they wanted Josh Shapiro to go right there. It's almost like they're like, fuck, don't let anyone else know that just happened. We don't need anyone else to know that there was a failed attempt. God damn it. Like, does that not seem like it was, like, planned or something? Did anyone hear about that? Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, his fucking house got burned down by some dude named, like, Cody Balmer. A 38-year-old dude. Like, how bored you gotta be in life to try and burn down the governor's fucking crib, dude? What in the fuck?
Separate ways. So I don't think it's imminent, but it's looking a lot more likely. Things are getting worse. And I don't know. On some level, you might say maybe this is a necessary step. For us to win, we have to fight. For us to take back control of our country, we have to defeat the enemy, and that means that the only way out is through. It's a valid argument. That's why I don't necessarily say it's good or bad. On the other hand, you might say, is it necessary? Maybe there's an angle where we can reform the system, where with overwhelming force we could prevent conflict. That's kind of where I've been at. I recognize, and we'll get into this, of course, later, but just briefly, I think everybody recognizes, like, we need to win. These people do need to be decisively confronted and defeated. Here's my hang-up, is I think that since we're in power, we need to overwhelm them completely so there's no fight. If we take half measures and if we give them the impression that they could win, that they can resist us, then it will prolong the battle. It will prolong the suffering. So I'm of the opinion this is a battle worth fighting. I like seeing some of the things that are happening, but I just want to see everything wider, deeper, and times 10. Because the only way to prevent real civil conflict, what people call stochastic terrorism, a low level of political violence that is sustained over time. People talk about a national divorce, schism, real instability. I think the only way to avoid something like that is overwhelming force, bold action. And you just need to utterly defeat them, strike at the head, let them scatter, make them afraid to associate with each other. I think that's the only way. Because otherwise, if they think that this is a fight, if we take half measures, if Trump is weak, and if they think that they can resist him, then they will. And they will gather and fortify on the left. And if we give them a chance to regroup and they win, let's say in 28 or 32 or whatever, then you're just going to see this tit for tat keep escalating. And there's a chance you could always get off on an exit, on that road, but there's no guarantees you'll be able to stop it. So I'm in favor of overwhelming force. But anyway, we'll talk all about that. That'll be our main story. Getting ahead of myself a little bit. We're also going to talk tonight about Venezuela. Just like everything else, we're going to war. And the Trump administration has bombed another drug trafficking vessel. That's what they're claiming. They're approving, allegedly, strikes on the ground in Venezuela now that they've taken control of the sea. Trump has authorized the CIA to operate covertly inside Venezuela. And today, B-52 bombers were circling the airspace over Venezuela. And many people believe that a bombing campaign is imminent. And it looks like we're going to get regime change there one way or another. We've been covering this a little bit. Apparently, there was a deal in the works where Maduro, the president of Venezuela, was going to give us what we want.
How the fuck is this frozen?
Oil, realign their capital towards ours. Trump rejected it. Marco Rubio, in particular, the Secretary of State, he rejected the deal. And now it seems that whether the United States intervenes militarily or whether they just crank up the pressure until the regime collapses from within, regime change is inevitable here. That seems to be the end game. That has been the end game for many years. And Trump is really putting the screws in this country. So either he's going to go in or he's going to create the appearance of going in so that the regime, the bottom falls out from under them. They'll be eating each other. And then the CIA will install this Machado who just won the Nobel Prize. That's where this is headed soon. So we'll talk about that too. Should be a pretty good show. Like I said, I'm a little tired. It's been a long week for me. A lot of travel, a lot of content, a lot of shows. I did a couple of big collaborations when I was in Texas. I did this big project. We did a lot of content.
Is that nigga on Joe Rogan?
Then I did InfoWars.
Hold up.
I came here. So I'm a little beat up. If it's not the best show, don't blame me. I'm tired and I'm mortal. And I'm not doing a show tomorrow. I'm taking a break. Next week, I'm not going to be here Monday. But we have a long-awaited collaboration on Tuesday night. And before people ask, no, it is not Tucker Carlson. It is a different one. But it's another big collaboration, highly anticipated, extremely contentious.
Extremely
I don't know
contentious.
how it's going to go. It might be vicious. And it might be friendly. I'm going to go into it friendly, but it might get ugly. But
Tell
I'm
me
going
it's
to go
Candace
into
Owens.
it open-minded and friendly. So it's going to be a highly anticipated collaboration next week.
Tell me it's Candace Owens. Oh my God,
That's
I'd
our
fucking.
schedule. Before we get into it, I want to remind you to smash the like button on Rumble, smash the like button, leave a comment what you think about the show. One other thing before we get into the news. Did you guys see this Daily Wire debate that aired this evening?
No. Why would I do
Oh
that?
my gosh, guys, they are.
Shapiro versus Matt Walsh? No, dude, no. Why in the fucking world would I watch two operatives operate together? No, I didn't watch that, dude. But explain it, please.
Losing the plot here. And by they, I mean the Jews. They're losing. They can't help it. They are in a death spiral.
Matt Walsh versus Ben Shapiro. Like that on paper is just like hysterical. Just the fact that had to go down is like really, really, really funny to me. It's actually genuinely hilarious. Like, I'm not even going to sit here and lie. Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro. Debate! Like, okay. Alright. Who's going to say nigger first, I guess? Is that the debate? Well, you know, it won't be me, Matthew Walsh. It will not be me because the social construct, I will not take the moral low ground. But we should be able to. Like, fuck out of here, dude. The fuck were they even saying, bro? I'm tempted to stop watching this and watch that shit just because, like... Holy shit, dude. I know I'm, like, coughing a lot. And I know y'all see me smoking this L, and y'all probably like, why do you even smoke at this point? Bro, I swear, I got this cough like this month. I don't know what's going on. Like, at first I was like sick, and I had a cough. And then I wasn't sick, but the cough got worse. Like, I wasn't sick anymore, but it was like, huh. It was like, why am I still coughing uncontrollably? And then I felt really good, but I kept coughing. I hate this guy.
You will get to sound off on whether or not.
Like, I feel like if I was if I was first introduced to like I'm about to call him Netanyahu, fucking Ben Shapiro. Like, I don't think I would have not fell for his shit at all. Where did it air at? Daily Wire host debate friendly fire. Oh, is that the plot nowadays? Friendly fire.
I built this website in minutes using
Friendly
AI.
fire. You guys aren't on the same
just
side.
extract what I need.
You will get to sound off on whether or not black people are disabled, as the Supreme Court reliably reported.
Let's say something that'll get us canceled.
If you really want me to, I mean.
I'll tell you, waiting in the wings the last few minutes was quite.
These guys are just all
Far too much
Jew,
friendly
dude.
smoke.
You hear his voice?
I'll talk so far in this friendly fire. We got a lot of the friendly, but not the
Not a lot
fire.
of fire.
This is so gay, bro. This is so gay. This is gay, bro. This is gay. I would know. This is gay. This is gay, bro. I'm gonna give you a fat dislike, nigga. This is gay.
So what, we're just going to kibitz this part of it? Is that the idea, or we're going to actually just jump into the show?
My favorite part is when Knowles reads the stage directions.
Yeah, hold on. Hold on. What does it say? Look hot. Okay, all right, that's fine.
We're there.
Ben, you're positively glowing. You're out of the country.
I am out of the country. I am. I'm still here, and I will say that Donald Trump in Jerusalem is a thing, man. We'll probably talk about it a little later, but that dude can light up a country. I mean, really, really strong stuff. Where are you guys? Obviously, you're back in the States. My understanding is that you and Clavin are headed to like Yodel in the Alps or something, correct? Next week?
Yes, we're going for strudel in Austria. I'm very excited.
Probably more exciting for Knowles than for Clavin, given the history there.
The father in front. It was a very short period of time. It doesn't quite get me to Liechtenstein and my Bonnie Prince Charlie over there, but it's one step closer.
I can't believe that we're like a minute in and you already did the Bonnie Prince Charlie. Like it should take you at least an hour to get there, but no, we're starting off hot.
That's actually our whole show. Thanks so much for tuning in, folks. No, do you know what today is? Today is actually two momentous events because we're celebrating the decade of the Daily Wire, not just by looking backward, but by looking forward. Also, I don't know if you guys know this, it's the 8-year anniversary of Mr. Walsh at this company.
Is it?
Really?
Yes.
Do you celebrate that exactly? Is that the celebrate? Is that the word?
More, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
I mean,
do I get
long
anything?
time.
Do I get like a
what
cupcake? Anything?
I mean, to be fair, I mean, I think that you get a very large check. I mean, like on a regular basis. So there's that. I mean,
Yeah, but I still want a cupcake.
You know what we'll
Barbershop
give you, Matt?
protect.
You do get something. You will get to sound off on whether or not black people are disabled, as the Supreme Court relied on.
God.
You will get to sound off on whether or not young Republicans can talk about that in group chats, and you will get to sound off on whether or not Gen Z is de-gayifying itself. All of that you'll get to hear from Isabel Brown. You'll get to hear from Jeremy and the Pendragon. Finally, we're going to get this great Pendragon release. You know, the first. We're going to get so much. But first, we're going to look back because Matt, 8 years ago, you were in a car.
Oh, are we throwing to something or are you just saying that to me?
No, I'm just saying that to you.
Oh, I thought we were thinking something. I thought we were throwing something.
There's a picture
Yeah,
of you in a car.
I was. Oh, there's the picture. I don't know if that's. Yeah, that was me in the car. You know, when I look back at these videos now, I'm mostly perplexed by the hair.
Can they just
Like,
start?
I didn't learn to comb my hair until I was about 32 years old.
Oh,
Like,
he's
that's actually
Jew.
true. I don't have great hair now.
He's
but at least I
definitely
comb it.
Jewish.
And so at some point between like around 32 or 33 years old, I said I should probably start combing my hair at this point. And I did, but this was before that. So you can see it just looks like a dead animal sitting on my head. It looks like a toupee. It looks like I don't know how my wife let me walk out of the house like that, but she let me walk out of the house like that many times for years.
I mean, I feel like she didn't let you walk out of the house because you were literally broadcasting in a car. So you basically just stayed in your car all day, right? You might have lived
Dude,
back there. I mean,
hurry the
I do
fuck
remember
up,
our idea
bro.
for your show originally was that
Start
you were just
this
gonna sit in a
shit,
car.
clown boys.
What kind of car is that? That doesn't look like a super nice car, actually. That looks like.
I don't want to admit what kind of car that was.
Not a
That was
super nice
my,
car,
we had one car. It was
actually.
my wife's car. She brought it into the marriage. It was a Passat. It was a Volkswagen Passat.
Whoa.
And she brought it into the marriage. My car broke down. We only had one car, and so I had to I would go to a Walmart shopping center and do my show with confused. There was no tinted windows, as you can clearly tell. Shoppers are walking by, just looking in at this guy ranting at his windshield, confused.
You look like an accountant who's like 3 sheets to the wind and drove out to complain about his wife on TikTok, you know? She doesn't understand me.
There were already signs then, though, and I can see the Daily Beast headline of Matt Walsh broadcasting from Hitler's car. Coincidence? I think not. Drew, when we started all out here together like 10 years ago, I think you had more hair than Matt did there. Is that right?
I actually did, although I didn't wear it on my head. So it was a secret. When we started this, you weren't even there, Knowles.
No, I was here on
This
day
even
two.
before
On
you
day
came
one.
on to be my Twitter voice, which I have to say was the last thing you ever did that actually was good. You sounded so much like me. I started imitating you just so I could sound like me. But I remember I had just been, the first day we did this, I had just been to England to visit my son who was at Oxford. And for some reason,
Bro, I'm literally about to
actually
just
had do it
skip.
the next morning. So I flew in. I
Come
was
on,
like, I
faggots.
I walked
Like,
in, it was me and Ben
we
in
get
this,
it.
Pool house that
You
you're
guys
in.
know each
And I
other,
did this,
you're
like,
friends,
15-minute
you have a
show or
pool
something.
house.
Got up, looked down, and I was wearing bedroom slippers. I was wearing like, you know, and back then, you know, I was younger. I was like 105, and like I was thought I forgot to put my shoes
that was
on. I
funny?
literally
Thought that
came
was
in
funny?
And Jeremy said, I know.
Ha!
I know that was.
Ha!
You know,
No,
one of my favorite
not
things
funny.
about this company and looking back on all of this is to see the change that occurred in Walsh and did not occur in Andrew Clavin. It's one of my favorite things. Like Walsh still had that like not full beard. Like it was kind of my style of beard. Actually, it was like this kind of shortcut Zoran Mamdani thing that was happening right there. So he kind of looked half hipster, and now of course he looks like a mountain man.
Yep.
Right now, of course, Walsh looks like he belongs out in the forest of New Hampshire chopping wood or something. But here he looks like he belongs fixing your computer at one of those repair shops at the
When
mall.
he sobers up, yeah.
And then meanwhile you got Drew, and Drew looks exactly the same. Drew's like the principal from Back to the Future. Didn't that guy ever have hair? I mean, just identical. Like you could just travel him back in time and supplant one Drew for the other Drew.
Build a website you love with Wix. Where your words
They need to stop trolling me with this website
And it
shit,
is
bro.
actually
It's not
a
funny.
Going to be 400 years old, however, I'm saying. Just slowly decaying. All my sins
just the
are
corruption
written
of
in the
his
faces.
And then Knowles is like Knowles' story is a good one because he was kind of like the aggressive climber at the Daily Wire. Like he started out as a guy who was supposed to answer
it was the pizza
phones.
boy.
Yeah, your original job was like social media marketing, and you were never good at it. So we're like, give him a show.
Jesus.
And
When I say
remember
pizza
sitting-
boy, I meant I used to eat a lot of pizzas in the Daily Wire. It was
Oh,
kinda
dude, I mean,
one of the
that's
main
how we
things
used
I
to
did.
eat. One of my favorite Knowles memories from the first 10 years of Daily Wire, like very early on, was he thought he was going to get cast in a movie. And so he thought that this meant that he had to somehow get a six-pack. And so the way he was going to get a six-pack was that he was going to walk around the office just eating bags of meat, literally just like Ziploc bags of ground beef. And he would just walk around for like weeks on end doing this, and he just got fat. At no point
I gained
did he ever
20
get
pounds
ripped.
of muscle. I didn't cut. I never cut. I got. You know my favorite memory, Ben, of all those years ago. This was pre.
Bro, these guys are faggots, bro.
I was preparing, and this was like I don't know.
Like, this ain't no fucking debate, dog. This is fucking glaze and make fun of each other about our fucking personal. Like, you fucking could afford a bag of ground beef every day. Like, fuck you.
And I was preparing to propose to my wife, sweet little Lisa. And I bought the ring, and I was all excited. And then I told my friend Ben Shapiro, and he promptly almost ruined my marriage proposal. My marriage, maybe, almost.
Yeah, no, this is the thing. I thought, like, Knowles must have thought of me as a closer friend than I was, because, you know, really, like he thought, okay, you know, I'm confiding in Ben, and like confiding in Ben, like unless you're like a really close friend, you should not confide in Ben. You know, I've got like a show.
Oh yeah, Joe.
And Knowles basically says, I figured, okay, he's telling me because it's after the fact. He already proposed. Like, why would he tell me if he had not already proposed? It's not like, you know, we spend hours dear diarying each other in the evenings or something.
It kind of seems like it here.
In the middle of the show, I'm like, and congratulations to Michael Knowles who's proposing to sweet little Alyssa. And
who's proposing? Yo, this fool's a dickhead. What do you mean? like, what do you mean?
Well, Alyssa listens to the show. And how did you get out of that one? It was like
it was some real jujitsu. Because luckily she was listening to it, you know, all the time. But she listened after the fact. We edited that out of your show. And we're able to, before it came, I was very lucky. The marriage went off just fine, and that prompts me to take a little trip down memory lane on our video screens.
This year, the Daily Wire turns 10. That's
dude,
right.
These guys are fags, bro.
Tears, bottled, unfiltered, and sold for a profit. Let's rewind. 2015, Caleb Robinson thinks the world
leftist tears. How about nigger cringe?
Caleb calls Jeremy Lane. Jeremy calls Ben Shapiro.
It's like, ugh.
What's going on?
They load up the truck and move to California. Yes, California. Mission: give quiet conservatives a voice.
All right, I'm already over this. What do they talk about?
And that's not a dog whistle. I don't mean go into it friendly, but it might get ugly. But I'm going to go into it open-minded and friendly. So it's going to be a highly anticipated collaboration next week. Then I'll be back for the rest of the week. That's our schedule. Before we get into it, I want to remind you to smash the follow button on Rumble. Smash the like button, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the show. One other thing before we get into the news. Did you guys see this Daily Wire debate?
I was just trying to watch it. Indeed.
Oh my gosh, guys!
Very gay.
They are losing the plot here, and by they I mean the Jews. They're losing. They can't help it. They are in a death spiral, and that's not a dog whistle. I don't mean anything violent by that. I mean they are in a pattern of behavior where everything they do makes it worse, and it seems like there's nothing they could do. Like they're not capable of doing anything that can make things better. Their behavior is causing people to really not like them. And their response to this is to just increase those behaviors. So people don't like that they're completely intolerant of dissent or criticism. So what do? They freak out. Anyone criticizes them, they call them trash. They say you're a foreign agent, you're an anti-Semite. They get angry.
I kind of want to see.
Loudly. Then Ben goes full viral. First, he wrecks Piers Morgan on CNN.
You tend to demonize people who differ from you politically.
And gets threatened by a dude cosplaying a woman on Dr. Drew.
You cut that out now. We can go home and nab them. Yeah, that seems mildly inappropriate for a political discussion.
Whoa! The Ben Shapiro show is
It's shocking to me.
Next up, Andrew Klavan. Old guy, big brain, surprisingly funny.
This is the Andrew.
Then we give the intern his own show, Michael Knowles.
Oh, man.
Then we find Matt Walsh. Yes. Recording in his car. Like he's on the run. We give him a desk. The beard thrives. Cut to 2020. Joe Biden, COVID, inflation, high taxes, rampant illegal immigration, and of course the BLM riots. California was literally a dumpster fire, so we moved the company to Nashville.
I love partying, I love dancing, and I'm famously social.
Then we had a sports show, Crane and Company.
Very spot on.
The Morning Wire.
Thanks for waking up with us.
Candace joins.
I am so excited to share the news with you.
Changed the game, and eventually left the group chat. Then we started the comment section. Podcasts, news, books, live shows, and while we were busy changing culture, Joe Biden mandates a vaccine. We sue all the way to the Supreme Court.
There's a lot of winning that is happening right now.
Still not satisfied.
Hey, what if we start making movies? Run, Hide, Fight, Shut In, and Terror on the Prairie.
Yo, they just glaze themselves. Holy Holy
Christ, I wanna
shit.
support as a woman.
Then, the greatest lie ever sold. We take down BLM.
Where is that money?
Bro, 10 straight minutes of glazing
It
himself, by the way.
goes to the Supreme
10
Court.
straight minutes.
Again. Anyone noticing our theme? Then we launched Daily Wire Plus. Enter Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, his podcast, Biblical Series, and the Mastering Life Collection of Wisdom.
Why is that not a good thing?
We started our own razor company, our own chocolate company, and cigar company. And when Bud Light went woke, we almost started a beer company. Thanks a lot, lawyers. 2024. Am I Racist? Hits theaters.
Your movie is really funny. It's really funny.
Crushes the box office. Crushes DEI. Crushes
I've never even heard about it.
It's a racist.
We're not done yet. So far this year, we opened a DC office. Join the White
Oh
House
my god, the glazing.
Now, the Daily Wire
Are they not
is a media
cringing?
Empire. Billions of views, cultural wins, stacked like Biden gaps.
Yeah.
And all because of you. Get ready for what we have in store for the next decade.
Imagine being able to build anything.
None of
just by
that.
thinking about
Holy
it.
shit.
Meet Base 44.
You can't make this up,
Well,
fellas.
believe it or not, that was actually, I think, kind of fun to look back at the last 10 years. But
12
here's the thing,
minutes.
We're not going to just do a bunch of looking back because it's time to look forward to the future, to a lifetime of joy with us. Because here's the thing. We do have a brand new thing. It is called the Daily Wire Lifetime Membership. It's one membership that gives you all access for the rest of your natural life and perhaps beyond, because I can't actually speak to what happens after that with any real sense of assurance. No renewals, no expiration. Every new benefit we add to All Access in the years ahead, those become yours automatically. With All Access, you get ad-free episodes before they're available anywhere else, live Q&As where you're talking to us, like a human, early access to offers and announcements, unlimited access to all of our films, our docuseries, our investigative reporting for the rest of your natural life. Lifetime members also carry that forward flag pin. You see this? You see this beautiful pin? This magnificent pin that producer Jake had to literally go across the country to get for me today because for some odd reason, I guess it somehow, well, in any case, he had to spend half the day going and getting this. But you can have this pin without having to drive all the way from Jerusalem to Load in order to pick it up. It is accented in 14 karat gold, reserves only for our DW lifers, along with a signed copy of my fabulous, incredible, everyone loves it, brand new book, Lions and Scavengers. They're all saying, so here's the catch. There are only 10,000 lifetime memberships that will ever exist, ever, like forever. When they're gone, they are gone. Become the cornerstone of building the next decade of Daily Wire. We appreciate
Holy
Oh,
it. Head on over to
shit, bro.
dailywire.com/lifetime
13 minutes
and
of this,
secure your
dog.
place in Daily Wire
What
history.
in the
Gentlemen,
fuck?
can we please dive in on whether or not black people are disabled? Ben?
What are you?
Yeah.
That's your opener.
It's not black people are disabled. It's black people. It's a disability itself. The blackness is the disability. This is what this woman is a chucklehead. First of all, Ketanji Brown Jackson is a chucklehead, and she said this that they should be able to have special voting districts because they can't get to the polls because they're disabled by blackness. That's what she said.
I didn't go to law school, Ben. Is that true?
I mean, that doesn't sound right. I mean, like if I just like off the top of my head, it doesn't sound like a thing that's true. And also, it is just another amusing episode in that Ryan Long comedy special where like it's white supremacists and woke left, and they're the same because all the white supremacists will also say that thing. But Ketanji Brown Jackson apparently did say that thing. Do we have audio of this? 'Cause I don't actually believe your summary of this. Do we have like audio of her saying this thing? Because I would like to hear it.
Yes, I'm thinking of it, of the fact that remedial action, absent discriminatory intent, is really not a new idea in the civil rights laws. And my kind of paradigmatic example of this is something like the ADA. Congress passed the Americans with Disabilities Act against the backdrop of a world that was generally not accessible to people with disabilities. And so it was discriminatory in effect because these folks were not able to access these buildings. The idea in Section 2 is that we are responding to current day manifestations of past and present decisions that disadvantage minorities and make it so that they don't have equal access to the voting system, right? They're disabled. In fact, we use the word disable in Milligan. We say that's a way in which you see that these processes are not.
Is this really what they're talking about?
No, that is not good. That is not good lawyering or human being. That is bad. I mean,
dude, what, bro? Are these the motherfuckers that are representing black people, bro? We're disabled and we can't get to the nigga, y'all aren't helping us. Y'all aren't helping us. No matter which side you vote, like the Democrats will introduce something, the Republicans get in the House, and they just move forward with it. There's 1,000,001 examples I'm not even about to get into, bro. How is that the person representing us? And that's the unfair part. You hear what them niggas said, bro?
Just for those who care about it,
yeah.
The ADA was, which I think actually is a bad piece of law, but the ADA originally was passed on the basis that like people in wheelchairs can't go upstairs. and therefore they might need a ramp to go up into a building. And she's making the case that that's somehow like black people not having their own voting districts because they're somehow historically disadvantaged. Well, I think the thing with the ADA is that disabled people are in fact disadvantaged by physical reality. That's a bit of a differentiation. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry, she's dumb. There's no other way to put it. She's just dumb.
I agree with him. She's retarded.
Just do it. You want to. I can see it in your eyes. Go.
If you really want me to, I mean, no, I was going to do the opposite. I was going to speak in her defense a little bit, and the only thing I'd say in her defense is that there's no good argument that the other side can make on this case. They're going to lose the case, and we should. It should be getting a lot more attention than it is because this might destroy the Democrat Party's ability to get a majority in the House of Representatives like ever again. And there's nothing that can really be said because what they're trying to defend is the proposition that in order to avoid racial discrimination in the way that that districting works, you have to deliberately racially discriminate by creating districts that explicitly exclude as many white people as possible. Like that's the argument they're trying to make, and there's nothing intelligent to be said in defense of it. And so,
want to create an online store but not sure what to do next? With managed WooCommerce hosting from Hostinger, you can skip the complex setup process.
That might be the best available argument, is what I'm trying to say, that she came up with. I don't know.
Fair. You were around when Plessy v. Ferguson was decided. What do you make of this oral argument?
Well, what I like about it is that the Voting Rights Act was passed, I think, in 65, so that's 60 years ago, right? So essentially what they're arguing is that the country hasn't changed.
You just say 60 years ago? That nigga not know math?
They've turned the Civil Rights Act into something that was never meant to be. They've destroyed our right to free association. They say that, they're counting the heads, how many black heads are in a room so they can... And none of that has helped. None of that has helped. All they have to do is take this wall down that was put up 60 years ago, and suddenly, Rod Steiger in a sheriff's hat is going to show up again. He's just been waiting. He's been waiting behind that wall to come back. Nobody cares anymore. Nobody's stopping black people from voting. I mean, these people think that it's a disability that if you say, oh, you need ID, like every country on earth, you need ID to vote. Black people can't get ID. How would they know how would they understand how to get ID? I do not understand. I've asked this on college campuses. I do not understand why any black man, specifically a black man, would vote for a party that treats him like a cripple. I don't understand it. I mean, I can understand women, they want to be taken care of, something like that. Who would vote for somebody who talks about you like that? It's absolutely despicable, though it is hilarious, which for me is redeeming. I'm always willing to laugh at it. And I just think I would have been really, really funny if at the end of this, John Roberts had just turned to her and say, "Madam, you're a chucklehead." I mean, that would just made my day.
Well, black men are actually starting to make that move a little bit. And I know, listen, we will get to whether or not young Republicans are allowed to Katanji post in their group chats, if they're allowed to make these sorts of racist and offensive comments. First, though, Ben, could you tell us about ExpressVPN?
Would I? I would love to tell you about ExpressVPN. There's nothing more I would love to talk about than ExpressVPN, like literally in the whole wide world. Because here's the thing. Michael Moles has not been using his ExpressVPN. So the way that I know this is that ExpressVPN is supposed to protect you against hacking. It's supposed to protect you against, people getting a hold of your data. And I'm not going to say that I hacked Michael Moles' email. I will say some material has come into my possession about Michael Moles' search history. Such as, and I have to say, it is deeply embarrassing, like truly embarrassing, like more embarrassing than that Politico chat. Apparently, he searched his own name 36 times in the last 2 days.
Certainly.
Apparently,
that's it.
He has, believe it or not, Thomas Aquinas fan fiction, which I didn't think was an actual category of fan fiction. I don't know who he's shipping there, but it's definitely weird. He's been searching nonstop about whether Starbucks is going to start serving pumpkin spice latte yet. Like, he will not stop with this crap. And worst of all, K-pop Demon Hunters ukulele covers. That is a thing that we can all expect sometime in the near future. So here's the thing, folks, don't let people like me get a hold of your data the way that I got a hold of Michael Moles' data and then publicly embarrassed him, because ExpressVPN can protect you. It can, in fact, protect you. It's an app that encrypts 100% of your online activity and reroutes it through those secure servers. Third parties can't keep tabs on you. When I'm traveling, I've got ExpressVPN on all the time, so I'm on airports or hotel Wi-Fi or whatever. Don't wait until it's too late, and don't be a dummy like Michael. The time to protect your data from the future is right now. Use my special link to get 4 extra months of ExpressVPN's privacy protection.
Yo, this nigga always...
/friendlyfire. That's EXPRESSVPN.com/friendlyfire to get 4 extra months of coverage.
So, I feel like Miss Knowles' tentacle porn. I don't...
Oh, man.
You know what else I was searching for that Ben didn't mention? I was searching for his new book. According to this ad copy that was handed to me, I was searching for his new book, Lions and Scavengers. And do you know where you can get it? You can get it on the Daily Wire shop, thanks to Shopify. Shopify is the platform. It is behind 10% that shop create on your site.com. Anything like substantive in the news, fire. Before we talk about anything like substantive in the news, I also want to tell you about all the great stuff that has come out from Daily Wire and that is coming out soon.
Dude, 22 minutes of this.
To disrupt what became 9/11.
Dude, 22 minutes of this, dude.
Your kids, whether you like it or not.
It wasn't if it was going to happen, it was when the United States was going to be attacked.
These people are trying to talk to my daughter. Edward?
So we're off camera.
I'm a demon.
The whole purpose behind this is to overturn Western civilization. The lie was very
This is an ad letting you know that Framer, the
Oh
no-code
my
website
god,
builder,
bro. This
is
is
also
like,
now a completely free design.
bro.
Happy.
This is just undescribably Jew here. Like, this has been 23 minutes and 45 seconds of straight ads. Of straight just
10th anniversary.
glazing
Guys. Big fans.
themselves.
Love what you guys have been up to, and all the amazing.
Where did the I'm just
Like, what the fuck is this even, bro?
Jeremy Boring.
Okay.
Congratulations. I can't wait to see what you do in the next decade.
Oh, that was nice. Okay.
That was nice. Has anybody ever wanted to sneak up in back of Tim and just take that hat off and see if his brain is just naked under there?
One of my favorite memories, honestly, like first 10 years of Daily Wire, was Jeremy Boring's 40th birthday
Oh my
party, where I got Ted
God.
Cruz to come to Jeremy's 40th
Another
birthday
one
party.
of these
And then
fucking
Ted proceeded to
the
give
best
an answer
memories
Scott Stubbs
in the last
speech
10
at
years.
Jeremy's birthday party. You remember this, like at a small pizza shop in the Valley? It was pretty spectacular. Good times, good times. Well, from that, I feel like should we talk about something serious? Matt, you talk about something serious.
This has been far too much friendly small talk so far in this friendly fire. We got a lot of
25
friendly, not
minutes.
fire. Yeah. So okay. So let's get into. I've been strictly instructed that the intros to these topics are supposed to be 2 minutes, but my primary and most reliable strategy in any debate is just to talk and not let anyone else. Filibuster is my only. It's my only move. So, Politico. Let's talk about Politico. This is one of the big stories happening right now. And for anyone who's not familiar, Politico published a couple days ago this big hit piece revealing the private group chat conversation of some young Republicans. And the young Republicans are not elected officials. They're not anyone that anyone's even heard of for the most part. There's one person in the group chat, apparently, who works in the Trump administration, who is not recorded having said anything. So he was in it, but as far as we know, he didn't say anything, quote unquote, offensive. But there were other comments made in the group chat, as Politico reveals, that were a lot of edgy jokes and a lot of offensive language that's being used in this group chat. And most of it, as Politico finally admits in the article, if you read all 57 paragraphs of it, they'll finally admit that, yeah, most of this is supposed to be a joke. Although they don't, of course, put that in the headline. And the title of the article has the quote, "I love Hitler." And when you look at the context of that comment in the group chat, it's very obvious that it is a joke. It's sarcasm, very much in line with the kind of sarcasm Republicans use all the time about, yeah, I'm real far right. I guess I love Hitler. Along the lines of me having theocratic fascist in my Twitter bio, which isn't entirely a joke, but it's mostly a joke. So this is this kind of breaks down a few different ways. And for me, the story here is not the group chat, because these are private messages between people that no one knows. These are not relevant people. And the only reason why the media is showing us this, the only reason why they're doing this is obviously it's a political hit. And in particular, they're trying to distract from the fact that the left has spent the last month, I mean, really much longer than that, but especially the last month, openly celebrating political violence. And now we have an attorney general candidate, who's probably going to be the next attorney general of Virginia, who was in his own messages saying, not as a joke, that he wants his political opponents to die and even their children to die. And he was very specific that he was not joking about it. And so the left is looking to distract from that, and their way of doing it is by somehow obtaining these messages and putting them out to distract us. And some Republicans have been very quick to offer their denunciations, to say how offended they are, how horrible these messages are, that everybody involved should be fired, that they should never be allowed in politics again. I think that response is foolish. I think it gives the left exactly what they want. I have really appreciated J.D. Vance's response. Now, I think the vice president has struck exactly the right chord on this, because he's not going to play the game. And instead, what he's done is he has redirected the conversation back to the thing that the left is trying to distract us from. There's one reason and one reason only that this story exists, and it's to get us to stop talking about Jay Jones and the leftists who've been celebrating the murder of Charlie Kirk for the last month. That's the only reason that the story exists. And so J.D. Vance's point is, no, I'm not going to play that game with you. I'm not going to give you what you want. Instead, I'm going to redirect the conversation back to the thing that you're trying to distract us from. And I think that that's exactly the right move. I think there's some disagreement about that, though. There's more to be said about it. But I'm going to go first to the guy who I think is most likely to agree with me, and that is Michael. Michael.
Well, you're right, Matt. I totally agree.
Was it the swastika on his forehead?
The only, yes. Hey, listen, we're Italian, and Mussolini, he was a complex figure. My only take on this that probably has not been said elsewhere is even the fact that we're talking about the ideology of the far right and comparing the far right to the far left, and whether or not people like Hitler or whatever, is actually kind of missing the point. I strongly suspect these messages were leaked by another young Republican that has been reported. And having spent a lot of time with New York young Republicans, I promise you, this whole thing is about some petty personal grudge, and it's some power play within New York politics, and it actually has very little to do with the ideology or putative ideology of these texts. But I totally agree. There is no comparison whatsoever between some 19-year-old kid who's making edgy jokes trying to outbaste his friend in a group chat and a former state legislator, would-be top law enforcement official in Virginia, saying, as you note, Matt, that he is not joking when he calls for the death of his opponents and even the death of their children. So yes, not at all. Now the question then becomes, should we ever police our own? Should we ever have guardrails, or do we say anyone to the right of Hillary is on our side? And I think the answer is obviously yes, there have to be guardrails. Just like a nation is circumscribed by its border, so too a political coalition is circumscribed. That's what delineates it as a specific coalition. But the question is, how are we going to arrive at those guardrails? Are we going to say that anyone who ever gets caught telling an off-color joke by Politico, they're completely cast into the outer darkness? No, I don't think that's right. I think we should have guardrails. We should police a coalition, and the way we should do it is very carefully. This was Scalia's answer when, as a student, we asked him, hey, where do you draw the limits on the Second Amendment? Where do you draw the limits on stare decisis? And everyone wanted a really ideological answer. And his answer was, very carefully. We kind of know, we're prudent, it's a people business. And should these kids have their lives ruined because they were mouthing off and telling jokes in a group chat?
I've tested every website builder out there.
Were they kids or were they fucking 30-year-olds?
No, I don't think so.
But we're not prudent. So I mean, here's the thing: we're just not. I mean, so I would agree with you that quote unquote policing, you need to be prudent about how you police. I also think that everyone agrees. I would assume, Matt included, and Matt, you tell me if I'm wrong here, that there are certain things that can be said that social consequences should actually attend to. Certainly that's true on the left, right? If you say that you want to murder the Speaker of the House and then calls the kids fascist, there should be social consequences that actually attend to that. I agree with everything you say about the difference between a private group chat between a bunch of young Republican idiots who are outbasing each other and the Attorney General candidate in Virginia actually saying the thing running for office. Now, I will say, I don't think these people are kids. I don't think 31-year-old's a kid. I don't like using
everyone that votes knows going to the gas chamber and everyone that
have children of their own by this point in their life. And I think that the kind of loose playing with that term, as though if you're a 31-year-old, which is what one of these people was, that somehow this is the equivalent of being 17. I don't think that's true either.
But the YRs go down to 22.
I agree, but some of the people are 40 here, and then some are up all the way up to 40. I get it. Again, I'm not even disagreeing with the motivations of the Politico story. In fact, even on my show today, I talked about the motivations of the Politico story, which, Matt, I agree, are completely scurrilous and designed to distract from the sort of violent rhetoric we've seen from the left. But it has led to, I think, a reactionary response on some parts of the right to say there should be no policing ever at all. No social consequences should ever attend to things that are said on the right, that it's basically just pure my side versus your side. The problem I have is, number one, I think that's immoral, and number two, I don't think that's pragmatic. I don't think that's moral because I think that there are things that get said on the right that are really, really, really ugly, and pretending those away doesn't make them go away. I think that they're rising. I think that they're getting more common. I know that my death threats from that side are getting more common. I know I have more security because of that, and it's not just from the left. I have lots of security from the left, and I also get lots of security from the right. Matt, I think a little bit earlier today you tweeted that kind of your litmus test is the people who are trying to kill you, and I totally get that. I also have that litmus test. The difference is that I think that if somebody tries to kill you, Matt, there's a good shot that it's going to be a leftist. If somebody tries to kill me, it's a freaking Agatha Christie novel. I just don't know which direction the bullet is coming from at this point, given the sort of various and sundry radical extremes that exist. I'm not going to say that the right is equivalent to the left in this respect, because I don't think it's been mainstreamed to nearly the same effect on the right that it has been on the left. But to pretend that it has not infiltrated a lot of very important spaces, I think is sort of whistling past the graveyard. Now, again, that's not about the Politico story. There's more of a broad commentary about where we are in the movement. And as a matter of sort of morality, we all have things where, again, I'm not saying cast into the outer darkness, right? I'm not calling for any of these people who I think everyone knows who I'm referring to, but I don't think I'm calling for any of these people to be deplatformed, removed from YouTube, or removed from Twitter. In fact, I've called for many of these people, Nick Fuentes, for example, to actually be returned to Twitter, despite the fact that we have some pretty significant disagreements, including the fact that he thinks that I and people like me are scurrilous, sons of Satan, or whatever, however he would put it. But that's a different thing from, is this person part of, quote unquote, the movement that I belong to? And the answer there is he doesn't think I'm part of the movement that he belongs to, which he's made very clear. And so that gets into the question of there's the morality of when someone says something bad, should you condemn it? And I think that as a general matter, you can do what Winsome Sears did, right? Winsome Sears is running against the Attorney General candidate in Virginia. She was asked about the Politico chat. She says, yeah, that's bad. Now you do Jay Jones. which seems to me like a pretty good answer and a good way of policing. And then when it comes to the pragmatic,
can I say
just
something?
Drew,
you were in the group chat.
Yeah.
I mean, Drew, sorry, one more point on the. I just want to make one more point here, and then you can say whatever you want. On the pragmatic side, I fundamentally disagree with this idea that the reason that the right, quote unquote, loses is because we fragment while the left is unified. The left is losing because it unified around its crazies. Do not unify around your crazies. Sure, the crazies can vote for you. They can vote for your party. You can't stop them from doing that. It's a free country. But that doesn't mean they should have like a decisive voice in the future of the movement, because if you do that, you end up with the trans movement running the Democratic Party, and you lose from here to forever. It's the Democratic solidarity that's destroying them, not the Democrats as sort of fragmentary
So
party.
hang on, let me we'll go to Drew just a second. I just want to respond to two things there. And the first is, and I've heard this argument that, well, the left is losing because they failed to drive out the radical elements of their party. I think there's a false premise there, though. I don't think that's actually happening. I think, Mamdani, one of the most radical political figures we've ever seen in this country, is about to be the mayor of our largest city.
Because there are no Republicans or moderates in New York, man. I mean, Trump's been president twice, and it was the trans issue that killed Kamala Harris in the last election because they won't stop doing the trans issue, which is the most extreme element of the party, including, obviously, what happened to Charlie.
Yeah. And the trans issue was a big problem for it. But that's another thing, too, is that when we talk about the sort of the quote-unquote radical elements of the right versus the radical elements of the left, these are not exactly the same thing. The radical element of the left denies basic biological reality. I mean, you're militating against these basic realities that we all understand.
Dude, this is just awful.
And it's like this just keeps, it really is circling the drain because it's cyclical almost. People get angry, and the Jews tell them you have to be suppressed. People get angrier. The Jews get even more suppressive, more censorious, if that's a word, more tyrannical. And it just keeps going and going. And this was a perfect example of it tonight. So as you know, I've been hypercritical of the two Catholic goyim at Daily Wire, Matt Walsh and Michael Knowles. You got 4 guys left at Daily Wire. Candace Owens left, Brett Cooper left. They're doing their own crazy town stuff now. You got 4 players left in the game. You got Ben Shapiro, who we all know who that is. You got Andrew Klavan, he's like a mini Ben Shapiro. Jewish, technically a Christian convert, but still extremely Jewish. Then you got Michael Knowles and Matt Walsh, 2 white Catholics. And it is my humble opinion that Michael Knowles and Matt Walsh are what is keeping Daily Wire afloat. Because you remove them from the equation, and Daily Wire's a couple of pro-Israel Jews. That's just what it is. Matt Walsh is pro-white, very traditional Catholic, very socially conservative, and he's white and patriotic, and he lives in Tennessee, and he's got a wife, and he's got sons, and he's got a beautiful family. So people do not like Shapiro at all anymore. People don't even know who Klavan is. But they like Matt Walsh a lot. Michael Knowles, he's a little more flamboyant, but that's okay. I'm a little flamboyant too. Michael Knowles is Italian, Catholic, and he's a little more philosophical. I would say he's less polemical than Matt Walsh. He went to Yale, so he's pretty educated, smart guy, and he's also very socially conservative and very likable. I criticize these guys, but Michael Knowles really actually seems like a good guy. So people are drawn to them. They're the appeal. So people don't like Shapiro, but they say, you know what, Matt Walsh is all right. Michael Knowles is all right. And they, being far right, being socially conservative Catholics, being pro-white, patriotic, nativistic, they still represent some semblance of the Trumpian hard right that is very appealing to the base of the Republican Party, and in particular to the young men. To the, let's say, 18 to 40-year-old white men, and that's kind of like, that's a big demographic, but that's really the demo that matters. They love Matt Walsh and Michael Knowles. They love that flavor that Walsh and Knowles are giving them. They have decisively turned against the free market, pro-Israel, small government. It's like nonsense Judeo-Christian ideology of Shapiro, Klavan, and sometimes Jordan Peterson, who's also there. So I've said, when you really map it out like this, you realize if it wasn't for Walsh and Knowles, Daily Wire would crash and burn. Because people would say, okay, so it's just a pro-Israel racket. Who needs that? And Shapiro, I don't think has ever been more unpopular. There was a time when he was number one. Like, people considered him to be a contender for the number one spot. He was young, up and coming, fresh. There was a time when people considered Shapiro just like a far-right debate bro. They considered him to be edgy and shocking and far-right and owns the libs of facts and logic. You really maybe do not realize the extent to which he has lost all his cultural cachet. And people inherently now look at him with suspicion because he is Jewish and pro-Israel in a way that was not the case ever, even 5 years ago. Forget about 10 years ago. So I've been very critical, and I've said, Matt Walsh and Michael Knowles, what are you doing? You got to leave. Why are you working for the guy who is synonymous with the pro-Israel capture of the conservative movement? Why are you hanging out with him? He clearly hates America. He's seething against anti-Semites, and he hates the far right. They're not race realists. They're not identitarian. They're not Christian. They don't love America. It's like, so what are you doing there? You're working for them. You're working alongside them. And by being associated, you're actually buttressing their credibility. You're framing them in a positive way. So you're like a puppet regime. You're like a puppet regime of a foreign invader. It's a deep treachery. I've been very critical, and I've been putting a lot of pressure on Walsh. And look, nothing personal, kid. I try to be kind, and I try to be fair. I think Walsh and Knowles, I think they're good guys. I don't know them. I've never met them. I've never talked to them. I met Knowles very briefly 7 years ago.
Walsh is not a good guy.
He didn't know me at the time. They seem like good guys. They seem like nice guys. I imagine I get along with them. I think they're doing a lot of good, but they're doing a lot of evil by supporting this crap. And I've been critical of them, not to hurt their feelings, not to hurt their reputation, but to put pressure on them to leave and do the right thing. And anyway, long preamble to say, today there was a big debate hosted by Daily Wire, and it was the four of them, Shapiro, Klavan, Knowles, and Walsh. And they're doing a debate stream between the four of them. And of course, everyone's talking about this Politico article from a couple of days ago where a young Republican group chat leaks, and all these young guys are making jokes about Hitler and gas chambers and Jews and watermelon people and calling black people monkeys and joking about rape. And I think what was sobering about this is kind of the universal acknowledgement that this is just how everyone is now. This is what is happening in all the group chats. And before people, well, not all of them, a lot of them. This is just how young Zoomers, Generation Z, this is how the youngest white men in America are talking. And they're not unironic exterminationists. They don't unironically want Holocaust and gas chambers and National Socialism, although some of them maybe are not going to demonize Hitler in the way that historically has been the case, but they're not in favor of like genocide. Like, let's be honest. It's edgy humor. It's edgy jokes. They're being funny. They're in private. They don't think they're being watched. The chats get leaked. And the takeaway is the conversation has completely changed. The vernacular, the culture has changed.
Wasn't it a Jewish person that was supposed to have been the one that leaked the messages? So, I mean, like, I'm sure he supports genocide. He said he's friends with Mark Levin. You know?
And many people on our side, like ostensibly on our side, like J.D. Vance and Matt Walsh, these are two Catholic guys, white guys. They say, almost as an instinctual response, they say, who cares? Look at the bigger picture. They're saying, have we so quickly forgotten that last month Charlie Kirk got shot in the face by a leftist? And so there's no comparison. Of course, the left at Politico and even the cucks in the Republican Party, they want to run this up the flagpole and they want to make a stink about this. And now they want to root out anyone that's ever made a bad joke. and they want to clutch their pearls and act offended. We all know what that is. It's just jokes. It doesn't hurt anybody. And so Walsh and Vance are saying these are kids. Some of them are a little older, actually, but they're young people. It's relatively harmless. They're not serious. And what's more, let's look at the bigger picture. The left wants us dead. Sometimes they make it happen. They kill us. People running for office for the Democrats want us dead. You got a Senate candidate in Maine. It just got revealed, said every Republican's a racist idiot and I'm a communist. You have an AG candidate in Virginia who said these kids need to die. And so Walsh and Vance are saying...
It's a bad look. I ain't gonna lie. It's a bad look. That's bad. That's bad. I can't cap. That's pretty bad.
Where do we find the dividing line of what's appropriate? How about there's some people that don't want to kill us and there's other people that are shooting us in the head? Is that a clear enough dividing line? So Walsh at Daily Wire really goes out on a limb to defend in principle edgy jokes and the hard right. Shapiro has a completely different take. And Shapiro says, no, this is a growing trend. The youth are getting radicalized. They think this is acceptable, and it isn't, because this does reflect a callous indifference to, let's say, racism or anti-Semitism. This does represent a step up on the ADL's pyramid towards the Holocaust. It does reflect a hardening and a radicalizing of the young right wing. He said in this debate, he said, if Matt Walsh gets killed, it's going to be by the left. He said, if I get killed, it might be by the far right because they don't like me for being Jewish. And this is the debate that's happening at Daily Wire. And if you watch the clip, Shapiro is like lecturing Walsh and saying, you are excusing this speech on its face. They haven't apologized and you're forgiving them anyway. The country's getting more hard right and these people want to kill me for being Jewish. Blah, blah, blah. And Matt Walsh, no joke, look at his face in the clip. He blinked about 109 times. He's sitting there while Shapiro is lecturing.
I gotta see it. I've got to find it. I'm not about to watch until... Alright, maybe I should. Alright, fuck it.
And that's not happening on the right. There's no equivalent of that, of someone saying that men can have babies. Like there's no exact equivalent of that. But the second point on the Politico article itself, okay? Obviously, if somebody says something publicly and they've decided to announce it to the world, well, then that's fair game for anyone to disagree and anyone to say anything they want about it. But with that in particular, I think that in almost every case, if you are speaking in private, you're having a private conversation.
Maybe you're really not that disorganized. Maybe your email is just eating your entire day. I miss deadlines.
And then somebody with obviously sinister intentions comes along and takes that private conversation and makes it public. In almost every case, my position is, and this has always been my position, I don't care. I'm not even paying attention to it. Okay, I am not going to dignify that. I'm not going to go along with it. I'm not going to give you what you want. I'm not going to reward that strategy. And by the way, part of that's a principled stand on my part. It's also, it's like a self-preservation thing. I don't want people doing that to me. I don't want people going through and revealing my private conversations, not because I'm saying those kinds of things, but because these are private conversations. Now, there are exceptions to that. One exception is if you're running for political office and you want to be the top law enforcement official in a state and you've said privately that you think that, you know, half of your state should die. Well, that's one of those exceptions. And I think probably in general, if you're running for political office, that's an exception. There are things that become fair game that otherwise wouldn't be. But outside of those exceptions, I just fundamentally disagree with the idea that we should give these people anything that they want, or that we need to start now condemning things that were said in private in conversations that had nothing to do with us. We weren't involved. We don't have the context. They were not intended for any of us to even see in the first place. And should we police that?
So
I
would say no. I want to say this. First, I agree with everything that Matt is saying in its context, in the context that we're talking about. I don't see why I should care about these people on a private chat. I don't think private chat should be revealed. And when the New York Times is spewing out perversion and racism at a level that is far, far beyond anything these people are saying, and incitements to violence, I don't see why a product that compares to the New York Times and that they turn out every day. I also agree with Ben that nobody should be censored. I don't want to censor absolutely anybody. However, let me say this. When J.D. Vance comes out and he condemns these people, and J.D. Vance is one of my favorite people in the administration. He was my choice for vice president before Trump picked him. I think he's doing a spectacular job. He would have a lot more authority if he would stop hanging out with Tucker Carlson.
I guess it depends on what you mean by that exactly, because if you disagree with things that Tucker Carlson says, then no one is saying that you can't disagree with them, you can't make your disagreement known, you can't debate them, whatever. Like, of course you can do that. I don't agree with everything that Tucker says. I don't agree with everything that anyone on the right says.
It's a different category, though, Matt. It's a different category. I mean, yeah, you and I disagree. Ben and I disagree. We're all talking about the same world that's actually happening. You know, to say that Hamas.
Well, I guess I think Tucker is talking about the same world. I think I think he's got different views on the world than you do. But if we're talking about standing up and saying I disagree with that strenuously, here's why. Well, then yeah, absolutely. If we're talking about I know you said you're not supporting censorship, but if we're talking about sort of driving somebody out of the movement, alienating them, saying, that disowning them, that sort of thing, I absolutely, totally, very much disagree with that.
Matt, you might disagree on that on Tucker.
Holocaust and mercy killing is the same as saying a man can become a woman. It's just as crazy.
Well, hold on. Let's take Tucker off the table there for a second, because obviously Tucker is a very fraught topic for a lot of people, myself included. But I think that, I guess the question for Matt is, there are certain people who you would basically say don't belong in the movement. And so the question, I think, for everybody, and I think this is one that we should openly discuss, I mean, if we're going to have these discussions, is who doesn't? Or who doesn't?
I'll give you a takeaway on this that is obviously timely. When Charlie was killed, the guy did like 10 jobs. I mean, it takes innumerable people to fill all the things he did. The most valuable thing he did from a political coalition standpoint is he kept the coalition together, and his events were the events to go to, and his platform was really setting the agenda for the Republican Party. And Charlie made a really important point, to have a coalition in which he would not be pressured to get rid of Tucker, but he also wouldn't be pressured to get rid of people who hated Tucker, or who Tucker hated, or whoever, where the various constituencies hated them. But Charlie, furthermore, to your point, Ben, also drew a line. There were plenty of people that were not permitted into TPUSA events. And so he did this in, I think, an obviously very effective way, a way that did not fall into the perils of, a movement becoming too extreme. And I just wonder if there's not a lesson that we could take from that.
I think here's a good rule of thumb about Charlie, by the way. How about this? How about you probably don't belong in a leadership position, shall we say, in the conservative movement if you won't just buy into the basic factual idea that Charlie Kirk was murdered by a gay man who was a trans furry lover. How about that? If you spend your days fulminating about all the other things with regard to Charlie and speculate that he was murdered by other forces, that seems to me not connected with reality. I mean, that's something that Erica has said. That's something TPUSA has said. Like that seems like a pretty good, easy rule of thumb. That if you're spending all your days doing that, if you even tangentially are doing that, seems if you're trying to divide them. Matt, I thought that what you said when Charlie died was right. That one of Charlie's goals was to keep the movement together. It's obviously something JD is trying to do. He's trying to keep people in the room together. I totally get it. I've talked publicly about the fact that Tucker called me that day, 2 days after Charlie was shot and said, let's stop fighting. And I said, what? That sounds great to me. That's fine. I really don't want to be fighting with you because obviously we have other priorities. In fact, I even offered Tucker that we should get on stage together and talk about the things that we agreed with. He's yet to take me up on that offer. But the bottom line here is that when it comes to where you set limits at some point are going to have to be set. And it seems to me that the move on the right is that because we don't like the left at all, because the left is bad, there must be no limit set. And any attempt to set a limit is somehow firing inside the tent. And what this actually leads to is many of the same people who are firing inside the tent then turning around and claiming that you're violating the truce. Because I'll tell you what, it's Nick Fuentes who's attacking Donald Trump on a regular basis.
Yeah.
It is Alex Jones who's attacking Donald Trump on a regular basis.
Nigga just glazed him yesterday, bro. What is he saying? Nick Fuentes will criticize Trump, yeah, but bro, he be glazing Trump, bro. He be finding every reason to glaze him. It seems like the deal's gonna happen. The deal seems like it has legs. And then bam, that nigga Netanyahu bends him the fuck over and say, yeah, alright. Come on, man. Come on, this is just false. He's just lying.
It's Tucker Carlson who's attacking Donald Trump on a fairly regular basis, actually. So,
attacking is crazy.
The future of your business.
Saying you're not gonna vote for Trump?
With Wix,
that's attacking him.
AI capabilities.
I don't know.
The friendly fire should stop across the board, and I've been very clear about that.
You mean the show? Not just the.
Yeah, I think the show. But let me two things. Number one.
He just doesn't know ball. That's what it is. Fucking absolutely amateur ball knowledge, if I can even call it that.
Just on your point, Ben, about who killed Charlie Kirk, I've been very clear about it. This was clearly this was leftist violence, and we should stay focused on that.
That nigga is not a grouper.
when we try to blame anybody else other than the left. This was leftist violence for sure. Does that mean that anyone who feels differently should be drummed out of the movement? No, I don't think so. And I also think that it's like we're not even in a position to decide who should be a leader, who should have a platform, who should be getting attention in this movement. It's like that's not up to us to decide anyway.
Well, no, but it's up to a decision. It's up to us.
Hang on a second. Let me just say
that nigga is not a groiper, man.
Days after Charlie died,
that nigga is not a groiper.
That I want to call a truce. I can only do it on my end. I want to call a truce. I want to extend an olive branch to everybody on my side, everybody on the right. Okay, everybody to the right of Bill Maher. I want, including him. Not that I ever had really beef with him, but I want to extend a truce because we are dealing with a threat. We are dealing, Drew, you said it yourself. These are people, like the political violence is on one side. This is on one side. There is one side that engages in political violence. There is one side that like rejects the basic realities of life. There's one side that's responsible for murdering 60 million babies in this country. Okay, it's one side. And so I think that for right now, maybe we'll get back to the arguments. Maybe we'll get back to the infighting. We'll get back to that in the future, I'm sure. But for right now, I think we need to be unified against this threat, especially now, especially with the midterms coming up and the presidential election right after that. The left, if they get back into control, they're going to be out for blood even more than they ever have been. And so we need to be united against that together. And that's what I said. When I said that a couple days after Charlie's death, you know the response I got? Almost every single comment I got was yes, amen, absolutely, I'm with you. Almost every single comment. I said the exact same thing like 2 days ago, and it's completely flipped. Now almost every single comment is, how could you say this? I can't unite with them. There's no way. I can't do that. And it's just, I haven't changed. What I'm saying is no different than what I said a month ago. I haven't changed. I don't think the situation has changed at all. And I don't know why everything else has flipped.
Because I think if you take that to its full extent, it's crazy. It works within a context, but surely there's some kind of human decency level that you can cross where no, you're not on my side. I mean, I don't understand why if you support the cat's paw of Iran where they sit around and chant death to America.
I think it's like 906, bro. He literally has no stake in this.
I mean, that you talk in a loud voice about the problems of the country. I don't know what makes you a conservative if you are in favor of.
Does he even know how to work a group chat?
Used to have until Trump took it away, the capacity to actually hurt us. I don't understand the anti-Americanism.
I would say you're not on our side. You're not a conservative if you are not interested in conserving and preserving and defending Western civilization. And I guess the one point I'll give in your favor, Drew and Ben, is that I do think that there are some people who claim to be conservatives who actually are not interested in conserving Western civilization at all. And so if you don't want to conserve that, then like we're just not. We actually are fundamentally, because that's the thing I'm saying we need to unite to defend is Western civilization. And
but for example, civilization that has to mean something, right?
Yes, yeah, right. So for example, in recently I've been talking about the Islamic takeover of Dearborn, and I've had people who I guess claim to be conservatives who are trying to tell me that actually this is a very good thing, that our country becomes Islamic. And it's like, okay, we're clearly not on the same side. You're trying to conserve Islamism, and that is not what I'm trying to conserve. So obviously you get to a point where it's like, like lines are drawn, and I think the line is at conserving and defending Western civilization. And anyone who's on board with that and wants to do that, I think we should work together. But if someone says I'm not interested, I don't want your olive branch, screw you, which I have gotten a response from a lot of people, well then that's your choice, and we gotta.
I just don't want us to make the decision. I don't want to make the decision on who's defending Western civilization according to popularity. I don't think that's right.
This has all been very fun. I mean, truly, truly enjoyable. But Matt, I need you to talk to us about how you sleep at night.
Hold on, I got a better transition. Let me do the transition. I got a better one. I got a better one. So, hey, we've been talking about who it would be prudential for us to get in bed with politically. Now, Matt, would you tell us about how you get into bed? Well, that was a much better transition.
I don't know. I thought Ben's was better, to be honest.
What? I worked on that whole segment.
Yeah, let me tell you about this. I'm going to do it very organically. This isn't even an ad read. There's no text here. It's just me. Every cell, much doesn't get whatever. Helix Sleep site wide.
Now, also at that Daily Wire shop, we have Daily Wire shirts, we have hats, we have the only camo hoodie made specifically to stand out. It's 10 years and in fact.
And for that, since we're all very old, we're going to bring on a bright, young, hot, Zoomer, fresh and fit kind of talent. But first, Ben, I want to go back to a man of a certain age. Do we have an update on Jordan?
We do. So we have been talking with Michaela over at the Peterson household. She's wonderful, obviously. And Jordan is on the mend. She did tell us, and we obviously agree, that it is worthwhile. She wants him to be public. Obviously, she wants all of his messages to continue to be heard. And so it's actually, I think, quite important what we are doing here at Daily Wire by ensuring that pretty much all your Jordan Peterson needs continue to be fulfilled, that we actually get as much of his material out there as possible. He is on the mend. We're looking forward to seeing him back, and all of us are praying for him and praying for his family right now. So that's sort of the update at the moment.
What you already know is not sufficient to guide you into the future. To negotiate properly, you have to know what you want. So then you might ask, well, how do I know what I want? If you take your problem seriously, the problem...
I don't care.
Want to create an online store but not sure what
Stop trolling me, bro. I'm not working on this website right now. Fucking bitch ass fucking
Loudoun County School
Julie platform.
to make starting all of the wonkiness in the economy. Daily Wire membership. Go to DFD is in free fall. And it's a little bit unclear. People are talking about it on Twitter, but they're saying that it means that the whole LGBT identity is collapsing. That's not really clear from this study out of University of Buckingham. What is very clear is that non-binary identity, genderqueer identity, has collapsed. It peaked in the woke year of 2023, and it's just collapsed since then. There is some indication, at least from the abstract of the study, that trans identity is also following that. The L and the G seem to be actually pretty solid, but the rest of it is collapsing. This does not really surprise me at all. The reason is that the gods of the copybook headings just reassert themselves. This is the central conservative consolation, is that reality will win on a long enough time scale. I'm not even surprised that the non-binary part is leading the charge here, because the non-binary part is the most abstract version of the LGBT identity. It's just this complete androgynous illusion, whereas the L and the G and the B and the T and all that is a little more visceral, and it pertains more to sexual desire and all the rest. So that's kind of harder to extirpate. But in terms of the extreme version of these ideologies, it would seem as though they are on the precipice of being eradicated from public life entirely. To help us understand this, we bring on our Gen Z correspondent and a new member of the Daily Wire family, Isabel Brown. Hello, Isabel.
Hey, gang. How's it going? I'll tell you, waiting in the wings the last few minutes was quite entertaining.
Isabel, I need to know, is your generation not gay anymore? It's like a video, like, I'm not gay anymore. Is that happening?
And if so, where are we going to get our interior designer?
Tell you people, I have been trying to warn the world that Gen Z, the kids, were all right for a very long time. Literally a year ago, a year and a half ago, I should say, was laughed
Look at the
offset
fucking
every
bags under her eyes. She is lying. She is lying, bro. She is lying. She is absolutely lying.
TV network, every radio station, every podcast, when I presented my book that it was Gen Z that was going to save America, that no one wanted to be a lame gay chick like Disney wanted us to be in South Park so beautifully predicted. The numbers, of course, needed some time to catch up, but I think the kids are going to be all right, and none of this information out of this new study shocks me. The idea
She
of
looks
the
like she's about to
cultural
jump
fad
out
of
the
the
screen and
transgender
like
cult, which is
fucking
really what we've
bite
been
me
seeing
or
for a long
something,
time,
bro.
has already been disillusioned thanks to people boldly speaking the truth. I know you guys were mentioning Charlie just a few minutes ago when I spoke on campus at the first prayer vigil at the campus that he was scheduled to speak at next, my alma mater at Colorado State. There was a young woman who came up to me, and I just think this is so indicative of the Gen Z story right now. She said, I have to tell you something. And when she started speaking to me, I was a little wondering where she was falling on the political spectrum. She gave extreme leftist vibes, but she pulled me aside and she said, I have to tell you something. Charlie Kirk saved my life from gender ideology. I thought that I was non-binary. I thought that I needed to castrate myself and take all of these puberty blockers and hormone-affirming drugs. I thought I was going to end my life at one point because of all of these lies. And only one person ever had the courage to tell me the truth that I am a woman and I was created on purpose to be a woman, and that was Charlie Kirk. He wasn't mean about it. He was kind about it, but he let me have self-respect and an ability to look in the mirror and love what I was seeing for the first time in my entire life. And I think of all of the work that you guys have done for the past 10 years with the Daily Wire, the efforts of people like Charlie Kirk, because people were good enough to tell the truth to the next generation when everyone else was lying to them. We are not gay anymore. That's the good news.
That sounds almost too hopeful. I want.
Come on, tell me there's like some clip. Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh. Let's see. I don't see no clip. Is this it? Alright, this
Political
might
story,
be it.
which, Matt, I agree, are completely again, I'm not even disagreeing with the motivations of the Politico story. In fact, even on my show today, I talked about the motivations of the Politico story, which, Matt, I agree, are completely scurrilous and designed to distract from the sort of violent rhetoric we've seen from the left. But it has led to, I think, a reactionary response on some parts of the right to say there should be no policing ever at all. No social consequences should ever attend to things that are said on the right, that it's basically just pure my side versus your side. The problem I have is, number one, I think that's immoral, and number two, I don't think that's pragmatic. I don't think that's moral because I think that there are things that get said on the right that are really, really, really ugly, and pretending those away doesn't make them go away. I think that they're rising. I think that they're getting more common. I know that my death threats from that side are getting more common. I know I have more security because of that, and it's not just from the left. I have lots of security from the left, and I also get lots of security from the right. Matt, I think a little bit earlier today you tweeted that kind of your litmus test is the people who are trying to kill you, and I totally get that. I also have that litmus test. The difference is that I think that if somebody tries to kill you, Matt, there's a good shot that it's going to be a leftist. If somebody tries to kill me, it's a freaking Agatha Christie novel. I just don't know which direction the bullet is coming from at this point, given the sort of various and sundry radical extremes that exist. I'm not going to say that the right is equivalent to the left in this respect, because I don't think it's been mainstreamed to nearly the same effect on the right that it has been on the left. But to pretend that it has not infiltrated a lot of very important spaces, I think is sort of whistling past the graveyard. Again,
I mean, Ben, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Like, whenever you talk about military spending, like, you never sit there and say, yeah, we probably don't need it. Like, not inciting anything, but I'm just saying, like, bro, like, like, what do you think? Like, of course, in your position, the bullet could be coming from any direction, nigga. Like, you might as well be an IDF soldier. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the hell? That's why your ass is in Jerusalem right now, right? The fuck? You ain't in America. That's that's fucking Israel where you're at, bro. The fuck? Nah, but I see what he's talking about. I mean, I feel like he ain't really scold him. I feel like he was just kind of being a pussy. Cause like it's one thing if you double down on like, you know, kind of having them views. It's one thing if you double down, and it's like, you know, like you identify that you're looking for the threat, but like, you know, you're on constant defense, you hide, my nigga. Like, you know what you saying is crazy. But I can't believe I watched all that just for that clip, bro. What? Them niggas is goofy.
Him and really putting the screws in him. And Walsh is like this, blinking 100 times, like, hey, Matt, blink if you're, oh, okay, blink if you're being held hostage. And I saw this debate, and part of me thinks, is this the beginning of the end? And you got to wonder, what exactly is going through Matt Walsh's head here? There's a war going on out there, buddy. And pretty soon, you're going to have to take a side. Walsh and Vance both understand this. And maybe, I don't like Vance. Maybe he's saying it because it plays well. On some level, I don't care. They have it right. Okay, we are white. We are Christian. We all know what we mean when we say make America great again. Look, America sucks now. Why? Too many immigrants. Too liberal. Too gay. Too feminist. What does make America great again? We want to bring back, we want to restore the country from like the 80s or before. And no, that doesn't mean we want to bring back slavery and Jim Crow and the Ku Klux Klan. But
So
it
what
means we're
does that
tired of
mean?
seeing white people stabbed in the neck for no reason. We're tired.
Nah, you gotta further elaborate on that, bro. Cause it's like that's not a small part of America. No, we don't want. Yeah, we want to bring it back to before 1980. No, we don't want Jim Crow. No, we don't want discrimination. It's like, bro, then what is that? What does that look like? Cause like I understand, like I feel like we're aligned on the same page here a bit. But you have to elaborate where it's like, and he said it on the show the other day. He was like, because I guess they're thinking about, I still haven't found the article by the way, but I think they're thinking about bringing more white people from like Africa, like South Africa and shit, like, you know, white immigrants. And Trump, you know, I guess is talking about it or wants to do it. And like, you know, I don't really agree with that. Like, I don't. Like we're active. Like Israel's colonizing on our behalf. Like according to him, like according to Nick, like we're trying to colonize like Venezuela. Like like we deferred the deal. Marco Rubio deferred the deal for whoever he is in Venezuela. Forget his name, Nick something. Their president, I guess. Want to give us gold or whatever. And yeah, Marco Rubio said, "Nah, fuck that. Now we're bombing supposed drug boats. Like we're killing people on boats with drugs. That just sounds like that just sounds crazy. Like that's war criminal shit. So I mean, like I don't like I can't sit there and say I don't want no more Mexicans and shit. Like they ain't never did shit to me. But I mean, like you feel me? So I can't sit there and go, yeah, more white people from South Africa and less Mexicans. I'm like, what have white people really done for me personally? And listen, like white people have done a lot for me personally, but like they've also held me back in a lot of situations, and I've held myself back in a lot of situations. And black people have also held me back. So, you can't really put all your eggs in one basket racially, you know. You gotta either be one side or not. So, I don't know if he's being serious. I mean, nah, he was being serious because he do want more white people in America. So, I disagree there. I feel like if we going no immigrants, dog. Like we here, bro. He wanna bring it back to the 80s and just bring more white people. What the fuck does that mean? Like we don't make no products here. We don't got no tech geniuses here. We don't, you know what I'm saying? And we probably do, but I mean, it's just not like a lot of work in that. Like, you know what I'm saying? At least to my knowledge. Like, you feel me? Like that's all like, foreign students. They got these H-1B visas that they're fucking flying out. Like, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, whatever's gonna make America great is definitely I'm with it. But I don't think the problem is, the immigrants for real. I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is the politicians that want to make themselves rich. So, like your normal worker that's kind of making them rich is like, kind of beat out. Like, like if you look at some of these politicians like salary versus what they make, it's like crazy. Like, like their net worth and shit like that. Like, their shares or whatever. But I mean, yeah, I think fixing like the transportation, the streets, like infrastructure, like education, like Gavin Newsom just signed a bill where all public schools in California K through 12 has an anti-Semitism coordinator. Like how is that even a thing? Like how is that a thing? They're not like how is that a thing? And like I didn't go to school out in California, but I know when I went to school, you know, I went to a Catholic school, but we like learned about the Holocaust all the time. Like, you know what I mean? We fucking went to the Anne Frank joint or whatever, and we're a Catholic school, so it's like, it's just another. What's the point? Like, there isn't. Can we like spend better? Like, shouldn't there be like safety in schools? Like, like I'm not opposed to a military state because it's like, bro, like we have school and mass shootings. We have black people that just kill each other. Like, there's police and then there's the military. There's National Guard, like,
Of Israel dominating our politics. We're tired of HR coming down and breathing down the necks of everybody for making jokes or acting like men. Okay, like, so Walsh and Vance understand this. Directionally, this is how we identify. We are traditional Americans. We're white, we're Christian, anti-immigration, anti-feminist, conservative temperamentally. We want the country to look more like it did a few decades ago. And there are people that want us dead for this. There are probably millions of Americans that think that we are Nazis for believing.
No, I don't want you dead. I don't think you're a Nazi. That's wrong. I just disagree. I'd rather see it look like 2000s. Jean shorts, baggy t-shirts, like you feel me? Fucking Brent, like you feel me? Shades with the writing on it, the dancing. You dig me? I'd be cool with that. I'd be cool with the 90s. You know, 90s was cool, like, you know. But I mean, not really though, cause like, you know, it's another one of them things where it's like you can't ignore the black problem, cause even after Jim Crow, it's like, okay, they bombed fucking Osage, you know, and you can say what you want, but like they bombed a block where like, you know, kids just wasn't going to school, and you know, I could chat GPT it just so y'all can see. I fuck with chat GPT, by the way. 1923. Explode. Whoa, come on. They got the wrong drum. Here we go. The Philadelphia police dropped a bomb from a helicopter on a move house after a standoff. The bomb caused a massive fire, which city officials allowed to burn. 11 people died, including 5 children, and over 60 homes in the neighborhood. Aftermath. Like, yo. Like, that was in 1985. Like, that was in 1985, bro. Like, look, this is where I used to live at, like, over here. But, you know, obviously it wasn't back in, or no, I lived on this. Where is the block at? This is 50, this is 60th, I think, right? Let me see. Yeah, like, this is crazy, and they allowed it to burn. So, like, when you say you want to bring it back to the 80s and you're just going, oh, no, no Jim Crow, no, no. It's like, a lot of people got the right to think y'all going to be Nazis, and, like, you know, according to this, it's like, you know, like when you look at fucking those text messages from Politico and it's like, oh, gas chamber, oh, this and that, and it should go back to the 80s. It's like, well, we think those people think this. Like, you gotta clearly identify, like, shit like this ain't gonna happen, cause, like, you know, why would this not incite violence? Why would people, like, stand for this? Like, you know what I mean? Why would people stand for getting bombed on and, like, you know, like there's no other, like, you know, the city formally apologized decades later, like, you feel me, like the event became one of the most shocking examples of police violence in U.S. history, and it's like you gotta mention that if you're gonna say, oh, you know, it should go back to the 80s, like, and they think we're Nazis. It's like, well, yeah, bro, like a nigga like me lived right next to the block that happened to. Like, you know what I'm saying? And this is like obviously, you know, I'm there 15 years later and it clearly still has an effect, you know?
Believing that because we believe in God.
But we don't want to get y'all killed though if y'all could, you know, if that ain't going to happen, like realistically, that shouldn't even well, what do you mean if we don't bomb a block? Like, no, bro, like it got to be, you feel me? Like, we got to formally agree, like if we going back to the 80s, like black people gotta rewrite what the 80s should have been. So it's like y'all white people can have y'all 80s, and we gonna have the future, the 2025 to 2030. You feel me? Like it's a different playing field over here. So, you know, as far as in political messages, it's like, oh, like they shouldn't be in top chief fucking police and top fucking, you know, political represent. Nah, nigga, they shouldn't be lawyers either. They shouldn't be teachers either. They shouldn't be on the school board either. Fuck you talking about? Fuck you talking about? That's only fair. Y'all wanted to go back to the 80s? Well, we can police y'all. How about that? How about that? Y'all want to bring it back to the 80s? That's what you want to do? That's your MO? Cool. I'm fine with that. But when y'all have something like that come out, just know everybody involved is cooked, including that rat ass nigga Gavin Wax that probably released it, including him. Thank you. Goodbye for all of you guys. See ya. That's a whole faction. You know, I think that's fair, right? Y'all want to take it back to the 80s. Y'all want more white people, no immigrants. You know, good coke. Cool. That's fine. Heroin, that's fine.
I don't like Vance. Maybe he's saying it because it plays well. On some level, I don't care. They have it right. Okay, we are white. We are Christian. We all know what we mean when we say make America great again. Look, America sucks now.
Bro, we don't all know what that means. That's the like how are black people supposed to, we're part of the country too, my nigga. Like, you understand? Like black people don't consider themselves American. No, yes the fuck we are, cuz we are. We just understand that it's niggas like you that like think we're in the club. Everyone knows what we mean by make America great again. Everyone knows it. No the fuck we don't. No the fuck we don't. We all don't know it. We certainly do not. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit.
Why? Too many immigrants. Too liberal. Too gay. Too feminist. What does make America great again? We want to bring back, we want to restore the country from like the 80s or before.
Need I remind you, bro? Need I remind you? Need I show you? This is the 80s, my friend. This is the 80s. Can you explain more on what caused this bombing from the citizens' side? Let's see exactly. The moon bombing is a deep, tragic story, and from the citizens' side, especially residents of the neighborhood and the broader black community, there was a mix of fear, frustration, anger, and betrayal that built up both before and after the bombing. Here's a deeper look into the citizen perspective. Who was MOVE? MOVE was a black radical organization founded in the 1970s by John Africa. They promoted black liberation, environmentalism, opposition to technology, government, and police authority. See, I disagree with the technology part, but I mean, this is the 80s, so. And maybe they saw it coming. Members adopted a communal lifestyle, often clashed with neighbors, and frequently protested police brutality. Tension in the neighborhood, West Philly, Osage Avenue. West Philly, you heard? With local residents experience MOVE, members lived in a row house at 622. Alright, so I can show y'all this. This is what it look like now. How do I look at it where? Yeah, okay. But yeah, this is what it looks like now. I'm wondering if I could like go further. 'Cause I want to see more of the blocks. Cause this is 62nd Street, so this is like close to like a main. But you see like, you know, the boards here still. Like, you know, like this is one of the nicer, at least look, cause like they like it's still ass, but you know it got potential. Cause they burnt that shit down. I want to see how I can look at it like on Google Maps or something. Let me see. Let me go to Google Earth. But yeah, this shit still got an effect, so you can't really just say that shit without clarifying other things. Come on, man. Why is this always doing this weird shit? Yeah, so this is where the shit happened at. Like, look at this. You know what I'm saying? They kind of try to rebuild it, but like, you know, the whole area is fucked up over here for real. But yeah, let's continue here.
And no, that doesn't mean we want to bring back slavery and Jim Crow and the Ku Klux Klan. But it means we're tired of seeing white people stabbed in the neck for no reason. We're tired of Israel dominating our politics. We're tired of HR coming down and breathing down the necks of everybody for making jokes or acting like men. Okay, like, so Walsh and Vance understand this. Directionally, this is how we identify. We are traditional Americans. We're white, we're Christian, anti-immigration, anti-feminist, conservative temperamentally. We want the country to look more like it did a few decades ago. And there are people that want us dead for this. There are probably millions of Americans that think that we are Nazis for believing that, because we believe in God, because we believe in America, because we believe in the white race, because we...
I mean, now you sound like a Jew. Because, like, I just named you, like, real reasons where it's like, all right, like, the people that's looking at it from a perspective of the violence that happened to them, that shouldn't have happened, that just they got to apologize for, like, you know? I don't know if he's talking about black people. Maybe it's white people he's speaking about.
Believe in patriarchy. They believe we are Nazis, and Nazis always do holocausts, so they have to kill us to prevent genocide. And that's what millions of left-wing people believe. And they will incite violence
they might be
against
retarded,
us. And when
man.
it happens, they'll deny it. They'll look the other way. They'll cover it up. When they get in power, they'll systematize the violence. They'll take our guns away. They'll take the police away. They'll bring Section 8 in your neighborhood. They'll bring immigrants by the millions every...
It's like, bro, you could clearly bring this nigga up right here, bro. You could clearly bring this nigga up right here. You could clearly say, this is a perfect time to say something about this right here.
That we have a leak in the Constitution that if there's going to be anything that takes this great country down, it'll be this. Play this clip, Rob. This is New York City, by the way. Go ahead.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
This is New York City. Okay? All right, so you can pause it right there. Now go do this in Yemen. Go do this in Jordan. Go do this in Iran. Bring thousands of Christians outside and pray and see what happens. Go ahead and do that. See what takes place there.
Good luck.
This is the one part.
And you're telling me that the left incites violence, my nigga? Hold on, let me get the rest of that clip though. Let me get the rest of it here. Hold on. Let me get the rest of it. Don't you worry, cause that's not all what he said right there. Damn, they might delete the clip, but hold up. Yeah, they definitely deleted the clip. But nah, he basically go out and say that Christians are too tolerant of that.
Because a lot of people,
they're too tolerant. They're too tolerant of Muslims out there praying. Like, you know, what does that even mean? But he's telling us the left is inciting violence. You don't bring this up. You don't bring up that he says, like, yeah, well, these Muslims outside in New York praying and giving out food, like, that's a leak in our First Amendment. We shouldn't be letting that happen. And here's a comparison. Look at the Christians if they did that in Yemen, Jordan, and Iran. Three Islamic countries in their constitution. Yeah, what if we did that there where our constitution is about freedom of religion? Like, come on, dude. Come on. You gotta speak on this, Nicholas. You gotta talk about Patrick Bet-David. You gotta do it on both sides. And you was on. I don't know if he's like a fan of him or anything, but you was on the show, bro. And it's like, I don't think Patrick Bet-David is left, and that's clearly inciting violence or institutionalized violence. We call it a leak in the Constitution. So if he's not saying we should do this shit in fucking, you know, the same way they do it in Yemen or Jordan, he's saying we should at least change the Constitution and get it going that direction. That's fucking crazy, is it not?
Every year. It's like, so Vance and Walsh understand the score here. We're fighting for our lives. We're fighting for God. We're fighting for our country. Yes, we're fighting for our race as Europeans. We're fighting for patriarchy, for male leadership. We're fighting for the survival of the American nation. They get it. And whatever the intramural debates are that happen on the right and the narcissism of small differences and things like that, it goes out the window when we start getting shot by BLM transgender communists. And whether Tyler Robinson pulled the trigger or not, that exists. That exists.
That's true.
Because they celebrated it. So people say, well, maybe Tyler Robinson is the patsy. Maybe that's the case. But you still have transgenders shooting up Catholic churches and schools.
That's true.
You still have Antifa. You still have BLM. And
but you still got right-wing motherfuckers driving in a truck with 2 flags in their truck, crashing into a church, shooting it up too. And you got Patrick Bet-David, like that nigga's definitely right-wing, bro. He like that was a plain example of what you just explained right there, except it wasn't somebody on the left. Like a person with power to get paid $48,000 an hour to talk to one person and does a show with 4 other faggots like that glaze him, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's a right-wing guy that incited violence. What, 3-4 days ago? And they're already trying to delete the clips. They like, in real time, I could go back to my fucking Twitter, I'll clip it and post that shit for y'all tomorrow, tonight, whatever, today. Because, like, the same clip I bookmarked is just not there now. You know, where he says at the end that Christians are becoming too tolerant of this in the country. Like, when you claim yourself as an American, you do not claim yourself as a Christian. You claim yourself as believing the right to have a freedom to pursue your religion as long as it's not violent among, like, you know, as long as you're not getting in the way of nobody. If your religion ain't sacrificing babies, then go ahead. If your religion ain't raping motherfuckers, then go ahead. And, like, you know, obviously people are going to, like, play the game. Oh, look at the Quran. Look at Muhammad. Look at... Nigga, that shit was written in fucking Arabic fucking 19 trillions ago, bro. Fuck out of here. Stop it. Use your brain, motherfucker. And, like, there's plenty of... Just like there's 350 million people here, and there's plenty of people that are going to be fucking violent, and when you give them a chance to, you know, do some shit, there's plenty of fucking sickos that are going to be fucking pedophiles that, I'm sorry, you just called Trump based. Trump is not based. That nigga hasn't released the Epstein files. Like, and I'm not, like, going to sit here and, you Epstein, but that, he's forever not based. Sorry. He's a pedophile. Until further notice. He's not based. Ben Shapiro, oh, he's attacking fucking Donald Trump. He, like, come on, dude. Come the fuck on, dude. You guys all work for each other, it seems now, at this point.
Had tens of thousands of people celebrating and mocking Charlie Kirk when he died because they thought he's a Nazi. So that's real.
They talking about these group chats, too. I'm not in one fucking group chat. Like, I'm in like a Twitter group chat on like my personal Twitter account, and like, I don't even, like, I wouldn't leak that shit, but like, cause, you know, I'm not with leaking like, you know, personal private shit, unless it's like literally me and one person, I guess, and, you know what I'm saying, but, like, who knows what goes on in that group chat. Like, I'm never on my personal fucking Twitter checking that shit, and it's like, you know, fucking memes get sent in there, like, you know, so like, you know, like, there's a difference. Like, you know, they could be saying some horrible shit. They couldn't be. I can't even really tell you. Like, in all reality, I couldn't even tell you. But one thing I could tell you is what I'm not going to do is be some rat and, oh, like, they didn't vote me as fucking Joe for the election. As judge of the election, they didn't put my name on their ballot. Oh, I'm going to get them fired. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, never would come across my mind.
And that is how we would define our tribe and then engage in politics. Shapiro is not the same way. Shapiro is Jewish. And insofar as the Jewish religion, the Orthodox Jewish religion is traditional in some sense, maybe he has some commonality. But Shapiro doesn't care if America gets diverse. He said it himself. He says, I don't give a damn about the browning of America. He said, if white people are complaining that there's no jobs, it's because you're a loser. He said, you're not promised anything. You're entitled to nothing, goy. He says, the only thing you're promised, this is a quote, is the adventure of a lifetime. So I don't care if your ancestors have been buried in the same cemetery for 6 generations. You need to uproot and move to an oil field in North Dakota. You need to uproot and go work and do fracking somewhere else. And if you have a problem with that, well, you're just a loser, ingrate white person who needs to be replaced by better, more American Indians and Chinese that actually want to work hard. Like, that's Shapiro's ideology.
Shapiro hires some niggas.
Shapiro doesn't believe in Jesus Christ. This guy's not on our side. And insofar as Shapiro's in favor of Israel's domination of America, he sets himself against the American sovereignty, America first, American independence movement, and feels threatened by it. So Shapiro said, yeah, Matt Walsh might be getting shot at by leftists. I'm getting shot at by everybody because I support Israel. And doesn't that say it all? Does that not say it all? Walsh lives in Tennessee, where the Daily Wire headquarters is. You know where Shapiro lives? Do you think he lives in Tennessee, where all the Daily Wire studios are, with Walsh and Knowles and where Candace Owens used to live?
That's the same shit I said. He's in Jerusalem.
Shapiro lives in Boca Raton in South Florida, because that's where all the Jews are. Isn't that weird? Don't you think that's a... And by the way, when this debate happened, Shapiro wasn't even there. He was in Israel. So over here in America, in Tennessee, in Wisconsin, in Utah, white Americans are getting shot at by communists. And communists are celebrating. These left-wing trash are celebrating because they think if you want America to be white and proud and Christian, you're a Nazi. And they're shooting at us. While this is going down, Shapiro's in Israel, flying on private jets with security that probably costs millions of dollars a year to protect him, because we all know he supports Israel over the United States. Is this clocking to Matt Walsh? Is it clicking when he's in the Zoom call getting berated and lectured by Shapiro? And here's really what it comes down to. Let's just say it this way. Shapiro is right in the sense that this group chat does reflect the radicalization of the youth. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. Because the political correctness, the narrative control surrounding Hitler, which was created and propped up by the ADL and SPLC, the HR sensitivity training, the anti-racist stuff, all of that is a mind virus to make white people guilty and surrender our country. I'm not a hateful, cruel person. I don't want a genocide. But America is supposed to mean something. When we think of what an American is, we're supposed to think of something particular and definite and discrete. And by discrete, I mean tangible and whole. And so if young white men don't care about those speech codes, if they're embracing American identity, if they're becoming radically right-wing and they don't care about the thought policing and the white guilt and the victim narratives of the left, that's a good thing. And if they do not treat those sacred cows of the left with the kind of sanctity that they're expected to, that's a good thing. It's good that the youth is getting radicalized. It's good that they're irreverent. It's good that they're extremely traditionally Christian. It's good that they're pro-white. It's good that they're nativistic and patriarchal. That's a good thing. And Matt Walsh knows that, and J.D. Vance knows that, and you know that, and I know that. Because these radical young white youth are going to grow up and they're going to fight for America. They're going to fight against all this feminist, liberal, diversity bullshit. But that comes with something else too, because if you're Christian, you're not Jewish. If you're America first, you're not Israel first. If you're America first, you're against all their wars, their foreign aid. If you believe America has an identity, guess what America's identity is not? Ethnically or religiously Jewish. It's racially white, it's religiously Christian. And so the more radical that the young white men become, the more their conception of American identity hardens. It forces the contradiction to the fore, which is that the more American you get, the less you can really tolerate this Judeo-Christian myth. The less you could tolerate this melting pot myth, the less you could tolerate this pro-Israel lobby, the less you could tolerate Jewish billionaires like Larry and David Ellison that are buying the media to make us support another country. That comes with it too. It's unavoidable, and it's inextricably connected. It's part of that. And obviously Shapiro sees this as a bad thing. Because Shapiro, as long as he's a pro-Israel Jew, has to be kind of a liberal. If America is for everybody, then it could be for him too. If America is a colorblind meritocracy and anyone can set up shop and become super powerful, then so can he. But if America's prioritizing our heritage, our people, our identity, our independence, well, then he is lumped in with the other outsiders. He doesn't like that. And so, that's really the dividing line, is that, yes, it is true, the conversation's changing, the youth are waking up, that's good. And by the way, when I say people should not be afraid by radicalization, what's radical is what's happening now. What's radical is you have Austin Metcalf getting stabbed in the neck with a knife and black people raise $500,000 for his killer. That's radical. It's radical that Charlie Kirk is shot in the neck and one of the big late night shows blames it on his own side and just lies about it completely recklessly. Like it's radical to bring in 10 million illegal aliens and say anyone can be American. It's not our country. It was never our country. Like reparations, that's radical. That's bullshit. So we need a hard, far, edgy, radical right wing that says this has all gone too far. It's time to shut all this stuff down. Not in a sick, cruel, sicko way, but it's time to restore America, make America great again. And Shapiro will never be comfortable with what is required.
Nope, completely disagree. How is it radical to raise $1 million for the family of the killer? He was a kid. Is that radical, chat? Like, picture this. You're a friend, you got a best friend. They kid do something crazy. He claims self-defense, but whatever though. He do something crazy. He's in jail. Are you going to cut your friend off and the family off? Or are you going to be there and be like, damn, that's crazy. Like, I can't believe he did that. But like, I hate to see y'all go through that. Like, is that radical to have compassion? It's not like Carmelo Anthony's outside right now. And we're like, yo, there's $1 million, bro. Good job. Like, no one's doing that. That's completely, like, missing moving the goalpost. Like, I don't even know what to call that, because that's just fucking bullshit, But then, like, he doesn't call it radical that white people donate $700,000 to somebody that calls a kid a nigger. Like, that's not radical, though. Like, if you're going to call one thing radical where it's showing compassion, like, how is that not radical? That's crazy, right? Am I tripping? Am I wrong? Am I just, And then it's like, you want to bring the times back to the 80s or before, and just no Jim Crow, obviously, but, like, what it means to be American is like you forcing Christianity on people. Like, I thought America meant we could pursue any religion. And like black people, if you're going to sit there and go, okay, like we're bringing it back to the 80s, we want that. Like, we have no frame of reference what that is when you say no Jim Crow, no. Because like, that's just saying, yeah, we want all white people in power again. And, You know, we'll just do it right this time. What makes us fucking believe you? Why would we fucking believe you? Like, we listen to you talk about this with the Jews, so why the fuck would we believe you? We want this shit back to the 80s, but yeah, no. Like, nah, bro, we want fair shots at power and office. We want our fucking education fixed. We don't want to fucking be boxed in these bitch-ass fucking hoods and ghetto neighborhoods and fucking have our schools be funded by property tax, and property tax where we living at is clearly fucking dog shit. Like, that's not what the fuck we want. So we have no frame of reference because it's like, bro, whoa, we taking 20 steps back. Why would we do that? Why would we go back to the 80s? Y'all want to go back to the 80s, cool. We want to keep moving forward. We want to keep moving forward. We want different leaders because he just called Trump based. Trump is absolutely not fucking based. He hasn't released the Epstein files. Maybe I'm holding a grudge. But he is not based. He's not fucking based. Like, what the fuck? Am I tripping? Am I bugging? Am I hearing this correctly? Based. Trump is fucking based. Yeah, this dick.
To do that.
What, boy?
So I saw Matt Walsh receiving the lecture and looked visibly uncomfortable. Like I said, blinking like 1,000 times. You could read it on his face how uncomfortable he is. And you gotta wonder, bro, what is going through your head when you hear this stuff? You know this is nonsense. When Shapiro, like, think about it. Think about where we're at. Charlie Kirk got shot in the face for being a Nazi. And Shapiro, your boss, is concern trolling about a fucking group chat. Whose side is he on? You know, like, people are getting stabbed and shot, and we're on the verge of a civil war. And Shapiro is saying, well, hold on now. Who says we can't cancel these young kids for making racist jokes in a group chat? Hey, man, read the room. Fuck you. They should have their lives ruined? So what are you thinking, Walsh? Whose side are you on? Your fellow Catholics, your fellow whites, your fellow Americans? Are you on the side of your boss, who's in Israel right now for the signing of this peace deal? Whose side are you on? And I say this about Shapiro. The reason why I think this is like a breaking point.
Dude, it is not one or the other, man. It is not one or the other at all, bro. It is not one or the other at all. He's clearly pushing an agenda, bro. That is crazy. That is crazy. That's wild, bro. His name is Nick Fuentes, and I think he's specifically anti-black. I'm not even gonna lie. That's wild. That's wild. Ruin their lives? I mean, bro, like, they're in a group chat with the fucking person in the Trump administration. I mean, I would imagine they're at least, you know, like I would imagine those aren't the people that I want to be in group chats with, like, you know, and y'all openly want to bring this back to the 80s and before, and like, black people are supposed to be cool with this? Come on, man. Next, try again. Try again. And I'm not even gonna sit here and say like he is like anti-black, but I just think he's like not thinking hard enough. I'll just say that because I mean I don't know what else to call it. I don't know what else to call it. Oh man, I think I'm gonna just stream tomorrow, bro. Yeah, I'm about to call it tonight. I'm gonna call it tonight. I'm gonna stream tomorrow or sometime later today. Yeah, I'm gonna go through this fucking drum, bro. That's crazy.